And welcome back, everyone. We are ready to go with our second game here. It has been a spicy time as we saw SFU and Keanu go head to head. And my gosh, it went down to the wire, so much so that they brought out a second wire very closely, but we did not have to traverse that one. It was 14-12 to the Flamingos. It was not easy by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, it was challenging to say the least for SFU to sort of almost wake up a little bit. It felt as if they were asleep for the first little bit, but as soon as the Zoe bubble wears off, they're good to go. They're ready to get into it. we can use those references because we cast both games. But of course, on to our next matchup. This one is going to be a little bit more interesting because we have UBC Blue against Langara Esports Association. A little bit of a battle of BC there as well. Two West Coast teams looking to duke it out. And I am interested to see how these two teams end up panning out compared to our first matchup, because Keanu came out firing on all cylinders and it was quite the performance coming through from them.
And the fact of the matter is, we can actually equate that to this upcoming match because UBC Blue played McGill Esports Association in round number 1 as well. LEA were actually had a bye round to kick things off. But UBC Blue, they went the distance as well, just not into OT. It was 13-11 for them. So LEA coming in with fresh players. It is going to be Mineko, Flawed, Lunar, Hob, and Super Kevo. And they'll be running it out, which, again, will be so much fun to go ahead and watch them. But fresh off the benches for that squad.
Yeah, and they got to watch that last game. They got to see sort of the competition they might be going up against. But on the opposite side for UBC Blue, this is, of course, not their main team that we saw play in CVAL a lot of the times as well. This is sort of their secondary team. You got Blue, SNQ, Day, CNM, and Remyauti. We're going to have to figure out some sort of way to get those names a little bit easier for us to cast. But nonetheless, should be interesting to see how this team pans out. Because, of course, there is a very strong Valorant scene at UBC as well. UBC's main team, not sure what color they are. They might have been UBC Black. They went all the way to finals, not only in the spring to go up against SFU for that Battle of BC at the CVAL level, they also made it in the fall, going up against the former Kings of Collegiate, SJSU. So this is a team that has a lot of, they look up to that team in a lot of ways, and they've probably gotten a little bit of mentoring from them as well in the same right. So just showing that UBC is a team that has some very competitive schools. I want to see how they do against Langara here, because this is a school that we haven't seen a whole lot of. We haven't seen this team show up at the highest level quite yet, and I want to see if UBC is going to sort of just kick them down and say, hey, stay down there, little bro, or if Langara is going to be able to come out firing full force.
Yeah, and we actually we do know the map as well, and we are actually going to the other not so happy 3-site map. Some people do, some people don't. I personally love it, but we're going to Lotus, and that one's going to be so much fun to see again. Last time we saw a nice mixture of A, B, and C, and this one a little bit more challenging for the squads and forces teams to have a bit better identity. Of course, C side tends to be hit a little bit more often than not, but hey, we might see something change up here.
Yeah, I think that in a lot of ways, Lotus has evolved to become this really interesting IGLing map for both of these or for any team that plays it. We saw Fnatic do very well on that in Masters. Of course, as a Fnatic fan, I love to see that. I love to see them pull out that Astra and really pull something different out. But oftentimes you'll see an Omen come through. Sometimes you'll see the Neon comp come down. Sometimes you'll see a Jet Rays combo come through. There's so many different comps that you can pull out on Lotus. It being, of course, the newest map in the game. There's still a lot of exploration to be coming through from it. And of course, with no deadlock here, there has been a lot of talk about how strong Deadlock is on this map. We won't get to see it, unfortunately, as much as I would have loved to cast the debut of Deadlock here. Won't be getting that one. More so just because I don't think any of these teams really know how to play against it, let alone with it. So good to keep that off the board, at least for the time being. But I want to see how these teams sort of evolve in this matchup specifically and really play towards how T-sided Lotus is, because a lot of times you'll see teams put up crooked numbers on the attacking side, 10-2, 11-1, and sometimes it'll just get swept back the opposite way. So interested to see how this plays out.
It really does, and I love the fact that you pointed that out. There can be sweeps back and forth, and we almost saw one in game number 1, right? Let's not kid ourselves. These teams know how to go on a tear at points. I think it was about 8 rounds in a row. It ended 8-4 in favor of the Huskies. So if that is going to be exemplified here, and if the previous UBC game is anything to go off of, I'm excited to see. I do actually want to see at one point a team be able to storm away with a game, right? We want to see that power come out. We want to see those teams that are touted as strong and extreme competitors here, champions coming in here. We want to see that strength at some point, and we get individual strength. But there is at one point where it's just like, man, I know it's close everywhere, but we want to see a team peel ahead. We want to see a team run it forward and just be like, this is our day. So as you said, maybe we get to see it here on the attacking side or on the defensive, whichever side it is. Really, it is going to come down and give us a good telling of who is more comfortable on this Lotus map, right? Who is more comfortable? Who has practiced it a little bit more than the other? Because with all the maps sorted out, it fell to this one. It's not so much someone aimed to pick this one up. They just banned all the other ones. This is like the last pick option, really.
Yeah, and I think that Lotus being one of these maps that teams are both comfortable playing on does speak volumes in a way. I think that there are maps where either you know how to play it or you don't. And that can be something like a Fracture. That can be something like a Bind coming back into the pool. Lotus is one that maybe both of these teams are sort of unsure of, but they don't really feel it warrants a ban. Or either both of these teams really like that map and they were aiming to go towards Lotus. It comes down to what the agent select looks like as well. People have talked about how Chamber is very strong on this map, which I would agree with as well. It's one of the only maps where Chamber is playable outside of Bind. There's other agents that sort of come through in that regard, Omens can be played here, Astras can be played here, Breach can be played here. Any of the duelists really can be played apart from Phoenix, but Phoenix has a place in our heart. You know what? And Yoru. Yoru kind of sucks, just in general. If anyone's picking Yoru, you'll get our vote of confidence, but yeah, Yoru's not that good. We'll just say it straight up.
We'll give an A for effort, and then we'll leave the actual report for like something else. It's just like, this is a little bit sketch, right? But I will say, between the two, which one are you going to give the more like shakiness to? If it's a Phoenix or a Yoru, which one are you giving the more shaky confidence to?
I think Phoenix is better, just because Phoenix, you press Alt and you just run in there and you kind of do your own thing. Phoenix sort of plays a little bit quicker than Yoru in a lot of ways. Yes, Yoru has the teleports and the fakes and all that sort of stuff, but the flashes are just a little bit too slow. Like they're telegraphed in a way. And I think at this level, most people aren't shooting the clone. I think Yoru is one of those agents where it's like everyone who plays Yoru is sort of a one trick. Whereas with Phoenix, you can just sort of bust it out and be like, okay, yeah, this champion is so easy. You just go around, hey, flash, and run around. Hey, bro, let's go.
All right. So Phoenix is that one. That's understandable. Yeah. Coming out, though, you touched on it before, and I do want to touch on it because we do have a little bit of time. We are waiting for players to get in. You touched on Deadlock, and I think that speaks something to be said is Deadlock should be having a huge impact. I mean, the amount just bundled into a single kit is ridiculous. So if we're talking about agents that are already kind of pushed out of the meta, where would Deadlock fit in then? If we were to see Deadlock, where would Deadlock fit in, and who would actually be punched out of those compositions?
I think the major thing about Deadlock is on maps where you weren't playing Sentinel before, you're not going to be playing Deadlock anyways. And I think teams have been more willing to go for double Initiator, or double Smokes, or double Duelist, as opposed to even picking up a Sentinel a lot of the times. Granted, with this recent nerfs to clip size and the amount of bullets you can fire in your Vandal or Phantom, Deadlock and Sage together is the most annoying thing you can do. There's discussions on Twitter about this, about how Sage is all of a sudden buffed. We've seen Sage picked up on Ascent. Last weekend, I had the pleasure of casting CVH's Summer Showdown. We got to see some Sage picked up on different maps that you wouldn't normally see it because of those clip size nerfs. And I want to see if Deadlock sort of fits into those comps as well. Are you going to just double up Sentinel now and just aim to get 10, 11 rounds on the defense? Or are you worried about what it might mean for the future as well? I think on Lotus, out of all maps, Deadlock could be quite good because there's so many short corridors. The map is very cramped. Same with Ascent. It's a very cramped map where you can find angles for that Deadlock. But on a map like Fracture, I don't think you're going to be picking that up ever. If you're going for the Sentinel, it's still going to be Killjoy or Cypher. And even then, a lot of teams are just like, we don't really need them. We don't care. And you just go for something else.
That's fair. I mean, I'm excited to pick up Deadlock. I am a control. I just love control. I like utility is really the best way to put it because I can't aim for Jack. Like I just like, you know what? I'll throw out all my stuff. I'll let everyone else have the kills and I'll rack up assists, So, hey, that's what's there. We won't see Deadlock though. We will see the other things, but for right now, you're also going to see a break screen as we are waiting for one of the players. Unfortunately, there was a micro patch that just came in for Valorant, so we're giving it a little bit of time to work. Please bear with us. We'll go to a quick intermission and hopefully be right back with our second series of the group stage of the CIE Valorant tournament. Welcome back, everyone. We are ready to go with our second game, and at least, it was a little bit of a longer break, but we do appreciate your patience here with the CIE. We're getting ready with the group stage, game number 2 of 5 that'll be played here today. And of course, Adam, I think we're going to have some fun here. We got a sub coming in here for the side of UBC. We'll be rocking that one out, and hopefully things get underway.
Yeah, and their substitute is actually a player that I've casted several times as well. It is IDK from their main team, so this will be interesting. IDK, normally known as sort of a sentinel player as well, fills in that Killjoy slot. So want to see if they will still opt for Killjoy on Lotus as well, or if they're going to get a little bit funky with it. But nonetheless, we should be getting into game shortly here. I am interested to see how this all plays out. Of course, we're sort of getting ganked by the micro patch right now, and everyone's sort of struggling to get in here. But nonetheless, hopefully, fingers crossed, everything will be getting into game shortly. They're actually the blue just joined the lobby, so their main player just joined. So we might not actually have a sub. I don't know what's going on anymore.
Well, welcome to Valorant. Everyone's just hopping in and out. We're having a blast. Imagine if you could actually have subs mid-game, though. Like, how crazy would that be?
That would be...
it would be interesting, right? Because not just a sub, though, but imagine you have an agent on backup. Like, you get one agent swap out as well. Like, you get a sub and agent, and you only get one, though. If you draw them out, that's it. But imagine the craziness that could come out.
Yeah, I'm just imagining... Well, the issue is that everyone would just go, like, double duelist on attack and then switch to double senti on defense. That would just be the strat. Or you'd go, like, an extra flash on offense and then a senti on defense or something. It would be... it would make things way too confusing. I'm just going to put it out there. I would not enjoy that. You know what? Don't do that, right? Do not take ideas from Orbital. He's a terrible idea.
You think that's a terrible idea? Come on!
It's terrible.
I think it's great. I think it's great.
Yeah, you know what? It's what they should do is if they add enough agents in, they should do fearless draft. That's what they should do. Yeah, that's a good one for Orbital.
Man, I'm excited. Tournament. Oh, yeah.
Are you gonna do another one of those?
I do plan. It's in the works right now, and there's even more things I'm adding onto it, but it's just. It's gonna be fun, but what we're talking about is just banning out agents pretty much, and just like you're locked in. What would it be if they add enough? You could basically just run like all sentinels or all duelists, and just be like, "What is this game?"
I think the worst part would be when you get a comp of like Yoru. Anything.
Oh god!
There you go. You're just pushed so far down the duelist list that you're playing like Yoru and then Cypher, Sage, Killjoy all on the same map or something. Oh man.
Oh, I would.
That does not sound. Yeah, that does not sound like
I would. But we are getting underway with game. We are getting away with game. You can see here we are going to Lotus. We are going to have a ball of a time here. Triple sites seems to be the way to go for just about everyone. And we do see the agents now. This is actually. Only difference is now the duelists. We were just talking about them, but it is a Raze versus a Jet, interestingly enough.
Yeah, and there's actually the double duelist on the side of Langara. They're going for the Jet Raze that we were talking about as potentially an option. On the flip side, you've got the double smokes with this Viper coming down. And Viper's one of those agents that either you play around it very well and you can use that wall to great effect, or you don't. That's literally how it is with double smokes. Either you're playing well around it, and I think that could be a defining factor here for UBC Blue. If Blue is able to get a lot of value out of this Viper, and her post plant is very strong as well. In the same way that we were talking about the Astra, Viper's post plant is so strong, especially under the scope of having a Raze on top of that. Your paint shells are just going to be doing double damage if they're vulnerable already.
It's just so much extra that you get to deal with and have a lot of fun with as we are underway. Once again, game number 2 of this group stage, and everyone's going to be flying their hopes high. Attack is currently locked out along this A side, and SCQ just lights them up. 3K with that ghost. Not a moment to lose. This is down to a 3v2 in a flash.
Yeah, Suzuki just going forward aggressively there behind the Omen blind, just sort of walked forward and was like, hey, I don't care if I get blinded. I'm just going to keep walking forward. And now this entire map is just so difficult to push forward for the side of Langara on the opposite side. They've still got that Raze as a potential entry tool, but CNM just going to be sitting on the side, has a turret on B, has the setup on that C site as well. Just going to be playing off of sound cues to try and sniff this one out. This turret is just going to snitch it all out now.
Yes. moving their way in. Crimes. Wondering a little bit of how they want to do this. Quick tap of a heal. Not too worrisome, of course, but they're just waiting around the corner. No one else to be found, and gonna wait their time out. A 3v2. No other information given. Means that this is gonna be quite a tricky scenario if they get caught with their pants down.
Yeah, and they're just sort of walking forward here. The time is starting to tick down, so the sound cue is going to be picked up on by Blue and Ramowdy. Just going to try and rotate over as much as possible, get themselves onto this A site. And actually, it's only going to be once they hear this paint shell that they stick it down. And I want to see if they can maybe find an angle to hold this site as much as possible. Spike is down, but Ramowdy going to pick up the last couple there. Maniko going to shut down CNM, but 2 members still left alive. UBC Blue going to find that first round for themselves as they juggle the ghosts over, making sure everyone's getting the most out of their money.
Any extra money on the ground? Pick it up. Pick it up. Pick it up. Right now, fatten up the wallets. Or, try and make sure you don't thin the wallet out too much. Oh, round number 1 goes the way of Suzuki, 3-1-0, happily setting themselves up, and now the rest of the squad on the attacking side is going to have some questions, right? We have seen previously teams full buy, I should say, but buy to the best of that they can. We've seen the SMGs come out in round number 2, but this time around it's just the Sheriffs, which I can totally agree with. Just a little bit of a simple play. Don't get too crazy.
Yeah, keep it simple. Sometimes that's all that matters. You can land these one taps as well. Collegiate Sheriffs, we've talked about this time and time again. They just seem to do double damage a lot of the time. But Day has pushed up very far here. Didn't even use the satchel, so has an escape tool as well. Super Kivo doesn't want to push forward quite yet. And as you can see, everyone's sort of starting to sniff out towards this C site. Of course, can be quite easy to find a plant there, but it's the hold that is so difficult on C from time to time. Niku as well, just going to keep holding down the fort at B as Langar continue to try and explore the map, and they keep getting punished for it. Lunar is able to shut them down the opposite way, but now Day has found so much space towards A. And no one's going to sniff it out except for the informant. It's the Killjoy turret.
That's enough information, but that means they push up and straight into Blue's waiting arms. Happily gathering that one up and almost gets a plant, but not enough time. So Blue mows down to Lunar, last one alive. And of course, the Sheriff doesn't find a mark at all. CNM happily gathers up one for themselves. Only kill for them so far, but there's plenty more game to be played. 4 left alive. So much room to work with, as he said, but this also gives a very nice buffer zone in terms of the econ disadvantage that might be coming out later on, or the buy-up that they have to do in round 4.
Yeah, and even still with Suzuki being the only member to lose their life there, they're just going to pick up a Sheriff or get handed one over. Going to keep that money in their favor. Have the Seekers as well as a potential win condition for a round, to drop that down, find the information, make sure you're rotating members over to the correct side after that. But nonetheless, the weaponry advantage will be going in favor of Langara, and I want to see if they potentially look for a little bit of a longer range fight. Once again, C can be a site where you can take some of these longer fights over Mound, play for as much room as you want. It seems to be the case here as Lunar leads the troops forward here. Looking to hit this C site quickly here. Ray's already onto site, but CNM sniffs it out as the last one standing here. Actually going to get a couple of nice shots down. Will be able to shut one down as Flawed. Ends up finding one in return as Blue also falls.
I mean, Maldi going, how the heck am I going to deal with this Day, though? Sees 2, can't find either. Crimes, committing a crime there. And now it's going to be open, gets a second one as well. And all of a sudden, Maldi not exactly enjoying what's going on right here. No idea where that spike is either, but you can hear the plant. But you know it's somewhere not at C. So where do you decide to go through? Where do you decide to try and hang on to? Yeah, do you even go for that chase? Do you just actually look for a like an exit frag?
I think that might be the option for Rimiati. Of course, holding onto that Ares right now, not going to be the best of retake weapons. Gets a nice little jump peek, though. It's just going to start spraying and praying at this point. Maybe there's an angle to try and find a way in, but just going to try and bait out sound. Listen to all these bullets go down. At the end of the day, at this point, might just be trying to prevent giving over that ult orb. Just holding for anyone to push the smoke. Is going to continue to push forward, but Crimes going to shut it down as Rimiati. They got one, but that's all you can get in that round as Langar get on the board.
And nicely done. This is what I always call the standard of Valorant, right? 2-1 in the opening is pretty much how everything kind of calms out after a while. And then round 4 is where we get to see a decent meat and potato style of it. And the fact that we have things lined up near perfect, Crimes and Suzuki both currently sitting with their ults ready, both have Seekers ready to go on board. The main difference is Lunar. Lunar on the other side, 7 out of 8 for the charges, could be a key playmaker if you do want to expend ults early on and you do want to try and get things moving. Of course, Day just goes on a tear and says, nah, not today. You don't even get that chance. He lost 1, but Formality picks it up. 3 for 1 is a count in that C side fight.
And the Seeker is going to be popped as well, just making sure that they know where these last 2 members are with where they are going. You have to sniff out that it's most likely at C because they're getting stuck on that door. That's the one sort of negative thing about the Sky. The flash even goes out behind them. We're not going to spot anything, so you know exactly where these last 2 members are. Super Kivo and Lunar are going to have to do some heavy lifting here against Remyauti, but right now, have the numbers advantage. Little do they know what's behind that door, as Blue was disconnected that entire time, and it just didn't matter as Suzuki finds one onto Super Kivo, and now a 3v1, and Super Kivo has to do some heavy lifting here if they want to save this round.
Maybe they got the strength. We'll see. Super Kivo, maybe go in Superman mode. But you swing, and look, now you're walking back out. Ooh, shots through the smoke. You get tagged in the leg. Oh, that's the hamstring. It feels kind of bad, but Super Kivo now pulling out the weapon, and you run right into Blue. Blue coming back from the disconnect said thank you very much. They're happily going to move to 3-1. Gun round 1, only losing 2 members. I'd say that's pretty dang good.
Yeah, going to keep that economy in good shape for the side of UBC Blue. On the opposite side, Langara, they should still have a decent enough a buy this time around. Yeah, you've got 1 Spectre on Super Kevo or Kevo. Super Kevo? Maybe. One of those.
Super Kev?
Nonetheless. Yeah, Super Kev.
I'm going to say Super Kev. Super Kev sounds
Super Kev 0. There we go. Make it even longer than it has to be.
Yeah. Adding syllables normally we take away.
Ooh. Remyauti going to make sure that Super Kev cannot get super with this one and is instead just your average Kev at the end of the day.
No, don't disrespect Kevs that way. Don't disrespect him, Adam. Like that just sounds like you got beef with Kevs.
I don't know. Remyauti had beef with Super Kev there.
True. Flawed around the corner though, saying I'm gonna hold this area down. Knows that there's a peek, and Cinnamon going, okay, I don't want any more of that one. Of course, right now they are going to chance their way over towards this A site. Rushing their way in, quick dash along the back end, takes out a little bit of a boom bot or a little bit of a seeker, and now Flawed saying, okay, what else can happen? Cinnamon running their way around as Crimes gets the plant. 4v5. Flawed hiding on the lower end, ready for this retake. It's going to be a little bit chancy though. 3 on site, 1 further away.
Yeah, and all of these members sort of up through heaven here. Makes it very challenging to push forward because you're all contesting the same angle, especially if Flood can just sit and pit here. Finds one. Updraft going to come through, taking a couple of shots. Will get shut down by Remyauti, who finds 3 on the round. Suzuki finds the last there. Lunar is the last one left alive. Has to play through door. Has to try and contest this as quickly as possible, but there's a firing squad in the way. Lunar finds 2, but Blue shuts it down. So close for Langara, but UBC find their 4th.
Oh, that almost went very, very poorly at the very end. That's one of those moments that you're just like, whew, we didn't let that round go away. You had a 3-1, and then all of a sudden it went down to a 1-1, and it's terrifying to think about. Of course, Malady, one of the big things playing alongside inside of the field of vision. We saw that drop into drop, and then just right out under from Flawed. That's unfortunately the round. You can see here, we are now taking another chance. Shares only here, as it is going to be the semi-save. Cut themselves down to size, but the rush is still going to be quite fun. A little bit of bounce. Blind on 2, as this A-side route is going to cause some problems here. 2 ults are also ready on the other side, so if you want the showstopper in the front of the shadows, great movement, as well as clearing utensils. Ready to go if need be. B-side going to be the plan.
Yeah, and especially when you've just got sheriffs, you're just sort of trying to pug it out. You're trying to go quickly, force them into an odd situation here. Blue trying to clear out some of these common angles, but nonetheless, with 2 members up here, Moneko and Super Kev, They just want to try and hold it down. Killjoy lockdown as well going to be expended, but CNM has found Flawed already. Maneko will be able to trade back a couple on top, though, with the Sheriff. And now this lockdown is getting a little bit scary. CNM just walking through the sky. Crimes is about to commit a crime to a defenseless member, and Day with 5 HP is going to find one, but very likely might just have to give up the rest of this round. There is not a whole lot you can do pushing into 2 other members.
The fact that Crimes just ran right by as well was a funny moment to watch. It was just, okay, so that's how it's going to play out. 50-round victory won. That was not expected to be won, but the Pistols won out heavily. And because of that, you know, they're going to be quite pleased with themselves. But on the other end, you take a look at those ults. 4 currently alive. Everything in the kitchen sink are just about, with the Seekers with 2 marks off. I mean, this is an advantage over to these defenders. They are more than willing to commit if they so wish. Remember, for them, they're only going to have that hero rifle and then an SMG on the back end. So not exactly the most thrilling guns, but we just saw the other side do the same. So, you know, for LEA and UBC, this might be flying thick and strong here in this round.
Yeah, and I think the major thing about those eco rounds as well is it just comes down to strat. Sometimes you just have to chance it. As you mentioned, Suzy Q just going to march forward, find a pick onto Lunar. You can see these trades going back and forth. This free gun from Blue is able to take down Flawed as well. Maneko not quite going to land that showstopper on the opposite side, though. Big ol' rocket to the face as Day says goodbye. And once again, the numbers advantage goes to the team that did not buy any guns. Day still has that hero rifle, as you mentioned, but now Suzy Q is upgraded to that Vandal, and Crimes now needs to be incredibly careful crossing here, especially with Blue's wall, sort of zoning them off this B site for the time being. Suzy Q even going to pop those Seekers for themselves. And now they'll sniff out exactly where these 2 members are, as Crime and Supercab need to try and find a plant. Find a couple kills before so as well.
But the poison's gonna slow him down, but Crimes is able to take him out. That was a quick snap, looking for another. Days gets tagged. This is a dangerous spot. Days able to finish it off, but look at how difficult it was. Thrifty round for UBC as they happily move to 5-2. These rounds may be going a little bit slower than our previous game, but it's more than enough. They're having a blast.
Yeah, it's the thrifties back and forth. You know, we talk about collegiate sheriffs. We should also talk about collegiate thrifties, which come through more often than you would expect in a lot of ways. Usually that upper hand in the weaponry department ends up leading to multiple round wins. But this time around, hey, why not? We'll just bring in our sheriffs. We'll bring in absolutely everything that we need. Make it happen. UBC holding a nice little lead for themselves and finding lots of rounds on the defensive half here. We talked about how this is an attack-sided map. Finding 5 rounds on defense for pro teams, they feel pretty good about that. But the fact that it's 5-2 already, you have more opportunities to find even more defensive wins, could mean that Langara are looking down a very challenging uphill road when they go on the weaker side. Granted, some teams are also attack and defense minded as well. For all we know, this could just be UBC Blue filling in the shoes of the UBC main team, who are a very defensive sided team as well.
Especially want to say certain maps are leaning teams will always have their preference. Kev currently hiding out in the smoke. This Viper's pit causing everyone to kind of have a chaotic field of vision. And it's danger as Crimes and CNM are able to find ones apiece. CNM able to find one more before falling as Crimes once again goes right back into that pit. Says, hey, I'm going to hide. I'm going to wait. Give me a moment. Give me a chance. 3v2. As the pit is still up, but Maneko says, hey, not a chance. 1-for-1 trade. The key waiting on the edge. No, someone's in the fringe, but only 1 HP. But you count him looking backwards. Blue able to finish it off means that it's 2 alive for the squad. The heals up, just to have a little bit of fun, and they land on 6. UBC off to a strong start.
And it was risky for Crimes to stay in that pit, but knew how much damage they had already taken. They knew that no matter what, it was going to be 1 or 2 shots that they take and they're going to fall anyways. Just tried to risk it, tried to find an angle, and once that Viper's pit dropped, they just ended up getting caught out, left with no health, and just a single stray bullet able to clear that round out. 6 rounds on the board for UBC Blue. They've been able to piece them together quite well. Granted, their economy still isn't in great shape. It has been scrappy on both sides. Crimes and Lunar have really been able to sort of prevent them, the side of UBC Blue, from getting too big of an advantage. But at the very least, you just got to put numbers up on the board. You got to find round wins. It doesn't really matter if you end the half with no money because it gets reset anyways. But it does matter if you end the half with only 2 rounds as opposed to 6 or 7. Day, that's a good shot. My Echo's just off the board.
Feels bad. Feels bad for side of LEA. That's a great pick. So UBC happily take that one, and now wondering where the rest of the team is going to go. Door is currently ajar. No one's really spotted, so hey, you know at least that spot is up for rotation. Go ahead, send another orb through, and it's still clear the edge, but Day on the far back corner inside a drop said, ha, you didn't check this far back. Look at the cheat. Another shot goes out. Super kept testing the waters, which is always so dangerous. A quick snap flies right by his leg. They do go ahead and get onto site. Spike in the hand means that they throw down. 3v5, though, is such a difficult one to hold against.
And they're just going to pop that lockdown. So at the very least, going to zone Lunar all the way into tree. Super Kev is going to have to move as well. These smokes are going to prevent them from really pushing up either. There's just so many challenging places. Super Cabo actually going to use the alt tech to try and get out. Stays behind that box, but Reality going to clear out Crimes. 2 members left around. It's Lunar and Super Cav. Super Cav finds 2 of them very quickly off of that alarm bot, and now 36 HP. It is all down to Suzuki here, who does not clear out that round. Blue, unfortunately, disconnected again over at C site, so it's just Lunar.
And it's just like, yeah, I mean, hello, pretty colors. Yep, there we go. So, round is over, and it's a great win to be had. We are going to have a little bit of a tech pause coming in here. So, give it a few moments, see what we got. And, hope that things are still moving in a comfortable way. LEA only behind 3 rounds, which is not bad at all. You can see here, Suzuki at the top, 10 kills for themselves. Crimes on the other side, holding the same. So far, team's kind of shaping up as we expected in this first half. Although, of course, attack not so favored.
Yeah, and I think the major issue here is that for the side of Langara, they just find picks and then they're not really able to work off of them as well. And I want to mention that in these sort of situations, you just need to make sure you're finding cohesion within your team. You're sticking together as a group, especially on some of these rounds where your weaponry isn't the best of situations. Last round, they're able to win, but they're not really able to get an economic advantage off of it. You can see the buys are coming down. It's a garage sale that comes through for both of these teams in a lot of ways. Blue has that hero rifle that they were able to save from disconnecting, but nonetheless, maybe this can become a little bit of a round to swing momentum back into Langara's favor, knowing that they've got slightly better weapons than their opponents. It's not great weaponry, but it is better, I guess.
It's just enough to be better, right? That's the best way we can say it. You can see the Sheriff in the hands of Lunar is just it's questionable, but yeah, bigger clips, of course, and the range that you get to fight at is much longer, so that's why I'm kind of leaning towards that way. But we've also seen teams dish out more damage than they probably should in 30-round victories, so as much as we say it should be, it's not always going to be the happenstance as Day gets away with their life somehow unscathed after facing off against 3 members along that hallway. Now taking a chance over to this C. Mount is currently going to be challenged. A C site wave is the entry, and that is Minako. Minako says, thank you very much. CNM down for the count.
Yeah, CNM just removed from play. Wasn't able to pop that second swarm grenade as well, which might have turned the tables there. The microwave was set up, but just a little bit too aggressive pushing forward. Suzuki, though, with this stinger, just trying to spray and pray. Flawed finds another one onto Meowdy. Look at this double swing, though. Suzuki just holding it down. The right click finds one onto Flawed. Blue as well. Able to find one in return. It's a 2v2 for the time being. Looking at the wall, able to find one. It's down to a 1v1. And they find it. No, Lunar's going to shut it down as Day doesn't quite have the sauce, and it's a win for the side of Langara. Despite the messy buys, it still ends up working out in their favor.
Oh my lord, these teams are just having a blast. It feels like the chaos that ensues after almost every single fight and after every decision that's being made. It's now lended itself once again to an ult economy in favor of Langara. Of course, on the other side, the Seekers once again for grabs. Crimes and Suzuki going to be working with those from the shadows for Ramaldi if they do choose to get a little bit fancy with it. But the lockdown, that's the one that I'm kind of interested to watch for. Really want to see that used to great effectiveness on that side. But for right now, that Killjoy is going to be sent up towards mid. Not a chance in heck as that B will be tested, but look at the orb sent cross map to try and block the vision. LEA gonna storm their way into this A site, tagged by the turret up on the top ropes. Turret is down, and that should lean to a plant. Very quick one as well. Still a minute and 15 left on the clock. Ooh, and Crimes finds the kill. Same as Lunar as well, and LEA find the first 2 kills of this round, make it a third.
Yeah, they're just cleaning this out. Suzuki now. And 4v2 alongside Day, but look at the late lurk coming through from Lunar on the side. Day's actually going to find Lunar, so that's a good start. Day just needs to make sure that they're holding as many angles as possible. Secret's going to come through as well. Day finds another one. It's a 2v2. Into Secret goes Suzy Q. Looking to try and find this angle. Day gun Rosa that one though, and now on both sides, Suzy Q needs to clear this one up. It's a 1v1. Suzy Q versus Crimes. This is not planted for Crimes though. Crimes going to have to peek incredibly aggressively here. He's just sticking it there. Will pull off as Crimes clears it out. Langara find a 5th on the board, and this is going back and forth. Neither of these teams can really get any sort of secured advantages despite their buys.
Both teams just playing up to their standard. I feel they're meeting each other's expectations over and over again, and the fact that we almost got a clean slate moment there, every member down, every member having to rebuy here, is hurting the wallets as well. The more that we see this kind of neither team relenting, it ends up in these scenarios where you honestly don't know how the econ's going to work out. You can see here it's another broken buy on both sides. We saw a judge on one hand, and then over on the side of UBC working with 2 SMGs as well. This is dangerous on all fronts. Either team can really have those swing moments occur. This is going to be that chance. Take a look in mid. That is the Omen hiding out on the far end, sends a little bit of an orb through, tries to catch everyone out, but the attacker lockdown will be landed on top of C, should give enough space to get the plant down if they so wish. Look at that. That's the chase across the connector, and that should be the plan.
Yeah, at the very least, they're going to clear this out, but they haven't planted yet. And the issue with lockdowns like this is that you just need to push the site. You just need to look for the plant. CNM trying to hold this. Is able to find a little bit of an angle in a super camo, but it doesn't matter. Around the back, though, Day gets shut down by Lunar, who's been absolutely fantastic holding down these flanks from Yowdy. Going to land that line. Even gonna just swarm grenade on top. It ends up not being the right choice. Maneko just trying to zone him off with this rocket. This is excellent use of this. It's the last round, might as well.
Yeah, and Flawed also brought out the knives just for fun. Got a kill, and I think a reset as well. So beautifully done in their own right. Now in a 2v3, 2v4, you don't really have anything. Suzuki sends out the blinds their own teammate, gets a shot. Doesn't get a second, though, as Flawed gets reset of their own. It will be 6-6 as we end up tied, moving into the second half.
Yeah, and it almost seems as if for UBC Blue, they just sort of lost the grasp. They lost the momentum in their favor. While it has been scrappy, as we mentioned, multiple members just clean slating for a couple of these rounds, you still have to consider that now on the opposite side of things will still come down to the execution. And I'm curious to see if UBC are able to execute on the offensive side here, if they're able to do what Lungar did in those last 4 rounds specifically, or if it will just fall to the wayside once again. 2 teams very even once again. We've seen all of these teams sort of compete up to each other's level, and I really like to see this come through. Of course, in a tournament of 5 teams, you have to try and establish yourself above these other ones. Last thing we want, especially for the TOs, the amazing TOs who are running this, is for everyone to be tied at the end, and then we're just like, okay, how do we do this? That would be unlucky.
Yeah. What does it go down to? I keep forgetting, because like you can there are multiple ways. I think it goes from like match score to head to like game time. Is that right? Or like round score, I think is what it is.
It would be round differential as the main one. And if both teams have the same round differential, I don't know. I at that point, like, I mean, if you're matching round differential with all the other teams, like there is, I believe, a situation where everyone can end up being like 2-2. And then if you're going to round differential,
games, right?
Yeah, there's 5 teams. So they each play 4.
Right.
So everyone could end up being
2-2, everyone. Oh, right.
In which case, head-to-head just goes out the window. Because, yeah, and then round differential, like, I guess that could be the way, but what if people are matching round differential? Like, specifically if second, third, and fourth, let's say, are matching round differentials, then you're like, dude, like, what do you do?
Do you just send it with a knife fight then? Do you just have the 2 best players just send it in a knife fight? You
just play a Spike Rush or something? Like,
yes. Just
TDM?
we're just gonna send it here. Good luck. Have fun.
Yeah, or instead they just fight IRL.
Oh god. Oh god. That would be actually entertaining. By the way, side note, this I just remember this. Did you ever hear about, I think it was Zuckerberg and Musk talking about like having a fist fight for some reason?
Why?
Did you not hear about that?
I did hear about it, but it's like, why? Why would they do that?
No. It's not just that. I don't know. Maybe it's just because, I mean, they're bored, right?
It's a cage match.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
that's a little bit more extreme.
Yeah, but do you want to know what just was said recently? Musk cannot take the fight. Do you want to know why?
Why can't he take the fight?
Because his mom said he can't. I am not even joking. I believe that was an official statement that came out.
I can't come out to play today. My mom says I had to do chores. Like, homie is worth like $8 trillion, and he can't fight Zuckerberg because his mom said so. Anyways, back to Valorant.
Back to the actual game that we're here for.
Yeah. Let's talk about the game, because this is honestly, billionaires cage fighting is honestly, I'd love to see it, but I prefer to see these teams duke it out here as C Mount.
I mean, they have 6-6. They're on that mark, Adam. They are on that mark as we get underway. With this pistol, you can already see a deep setup here from the side of LEA. They are not taking any chances, but of course on the C side, they're taking all the chances, because why not? That is going to be Super Kev hiding out in the wings, gets blinded out, and now has to back away and gets immediately knocked out. Ramaldi finds that kill. It's an opening first blood for the side of UBC.
And now they start to flood onto flood onto flood. Oh, flood onto flood there, as Flood is left to pick up the pieces. The rest of the team, though, has rotated over, and I think it's a little bit of this delayed engage that might cost them. Never mind. Day goes in, drops him with the right click, says thank you very much. On the backside as well, taking a lot of damage there is Mineko. A 3v5. Very difficult to retake here, but Mineko going to be standing behind Lunar here, trying to take some sort of contact play here, pushing forward. The alarm bot at the very least will be sniffed out, but Ramaldi is sitting there being a nice little pest in the corner. Oh, okay.
Not just a pest. A pest bites, a little bit. That was just a straight up, just angry rush. I don't know what that would count as. Just like a tiger hunting its prey. I don't know. That was rude. Came around the corner, got a shot off, and that lends itself to UBC going up one in the pistol and looking for another. In the second half, you saw Mineko also looking for a possible rifle shot. That was going to be the Marshall on their own end coming out here, but instead opts for the share. Still enough firepower, but more close to mid-range, and decides to save up with the rest of the squad. So I can agree with this one.
Yeah, and I think for both of these teams at this point, with how even it's been, you just need to try and get the momentum back. Langar rattled off 4 rounds in a row at the end of that first half, but now UBC trying to reclaim their lead here, doing so in the pistol, but trying to extend it even further. Lunar sort of just left it this classic to try and find something, pushing through the smoke though. That Tiger is just going to be able to spot him out right away. Lunar's under a lot of stress. Day only with that ghost though, most likely saving up for like a round 3 off or something, will just be able to find space on the site, and Remiauti once again going to be left to plant that down. The paint shells though doing so much damage. This could be dangerous. Mineko finds one.
That feels so bad too. It landed square in the right spot, and it opens up so many opportunities. Mineko is able to fire away against one, but loses their life. Suzuki around the corner lights them up as well, and now all 3 look, but Blue says, nah, I got another clip full of ammo. But you didn't look up, and then you did. Super Kev almost had that kill, but not enough. Round goes their way. Spicy though, all the way around.
Yeah, a very interesting round as Mineko almost is able to sort of clutch out that site. If the paint shells were thrown a little bit earlier, even still the spike would have been put down, would have bought Langar a couple of extra seconds, and with how they played that latter half, the post plant there, it would have looked good, apart from the fact that Blue just spraying and praying, finding 3 to close out the round. Now, though, of course, the buy comes back, and it's Langara in favor. Once again, the expected result, you win pistol, you win your anti-eco, then you lose the full buy round, and that's how it works most of the time. That is sort of the scripts that are written, after which you have to sort of rely on your execution and your strategies to continue building leads. Blue, though, says, I have 800 credits, I'm going to kill you. How about that?
800, 900, any of the sort. Just give us something. Crimes, though, about to walk into a little bit of a dangerous scenario, backing up with the rest of the team and said, hey, this is a dangerous spot. Super Kev, though, finds a headshot. Flawed finds another. And that's going to be Romality to send one right back. Might not be a rifle shot, but it's enough. 3v3 now as they take a look. Flawed finds Blue's body, and Super Kev holding it down against 2. Takes out the Trailblazer, but can't find much more. Yes, you do. You find another. It's down to a 2v1, and Lunar cleans it up. 8-7 as per standard. As we were talking about, this is going to be the clean setup. Lunar and Flawed, though, the only ones to keep weapons. As we're now into that all-important 4th round, this could be the one to dictate all the angles and all the problems for the teams.
Yeah, the expected result, once again, you know, the full buy ends up paying out, and now look at the economy. It shifts back the opposite way. It's still a little bit of a force up for the side of Langara. You see the Bulldog coming through with the light shields, the Judge coming down for Super Kevo. But of course, on the opposite side, they're trying to find a full buy, and it's going to be costly if they are to lose this one once again. Of course, this bonus is a little bit better than the one that UBC Blue were able to put together last round. You've got 3 Vandals at the very least. But nonetheless, it all comes down to the execution, how well you can hold down this side of the map. UBC Blue just exploring towards A for the time being. That spike still left down, though. Seems as if it's going to be up to Remyauti to bring that over. Make sure they can plant it on the site. But look at these members rotating over extremely early, sniffing out that there might be something going on here as Suzy Q looks to sniff out some prey with the doggy.
I mean, that Trailblazer has honestly been key for a lot of these fights. We've actually seen it used so often, and it gives so much extra information. And around these corners is so important as Day is able to get that kill flushed out once again, as we said. And that was LEA kind of forcing that scenario. But Super Kev on this flank, no one's been able to look this way just yet. Of course, plenty of time as they haven't set anyone up that main corridor. That's going to be Flawed. Locked out of vision and now has to dash away, so that should be the chance. But Super Kev knows. Super Kev is waiting. Finds another, but shoots in the smoke. He can't find anyone. Oh, that was a perfect angle to hold. And instead you get lit up on the back end. That one feels so bad. The plant is going to go down, but it's a 3v4. Could have been a lot more, but LEA are not able to contain. Flawed, though, sees a body, gets ahead.
Yeah, looking for even more. Maneko finds CNM. Blue trying to take this 1v1 through tree, finds both of them. And now the numbers turn back in favor of UBC Blue. It is all down to Lunar. Going outside a door is Blue. Remyauti is going to try and peek off of some sort of contact. They've got the lineup, so this is a snake bite. Just going to finish that one out. UBC Blue on the backup Blues 3K. End up finding themselves a ninth round. Once again, the economy shifts around, but this time, Langara forced onto a little bit more of a severe eco round. It's only Flawed who has those knives available. Seems to be willing to pop those, but the rest of the team just going to be dealing with whatever they can scrap together.
Which isn't much. As you can see, it's like, yeah, we know what happens. And I think it's also just part of the game. You do understand that, hey, you know, you're going to have your save rounds. This was a big, important 4th round, and you lost it. And it's not bad. Main thing here, try and get some kills, right? You want those ult charges ready to go. You want those abilities to be up for the next round. You want to have it on a gun round to give yourself the best advantage possible. And that's why we see the rush of 4 up that A main side and then straight into the attacker's spawn. So it's a full wrap around. And this is why you also see UBC understanding that. They go ahead and push their way. They know they have a gun advantage. The only thing is they have not found the opening kill. There it is. Flawed with the knives. Blue is dead. And now Flawed looking for another reset on this low ground. They're going to chase their way forward in the C mount area. CNM is currently hiding around the wings. And it's going to be fun. Now as Maneko said, nah, I don't even need that one. What is this change up? What is this chance? That is the knives being thrown all the way through, but they picked up the guns. They have enough time. It is 2v5. The aggression, the anger, Maneko sends them to the grave, but Suzy Q going to mow him down just as well. It's down to a 1v3. Suzy Q playing around the smoke, doing so well for themselves, but ran out of bullets. And in a thrifty round victory with 3 left alive, it is LEA to take the round.
Yeah, and while the definitional thrifty doesn't come through just because of loadout value, it still ends up acting like a thrifty because look at Langara's economy. They're back in control of this one. It forces the side of UBC back into their pockets to buy sheriffs, to buy a Spectre. Nothing too incredible here. And now there's an operator in the hands of Flawed. This game just keeps delivering. Both of these teams going back and forth, and who has that momentum. The economy is just so unstable here. It's looking like the Canadian dollar compared to the US dollar at this point. You know, never actually staying in one spot. And now, slowly but surely, Langara look to wrest control back in their favor. Super Kev needs to be careful though. Those sheriffs were working well the opposite way. Kev not even going to peek this one. Day just grabs the orb. Hops back out unless they're looking for a peek. Day, are you gonna find it? Ooh, the peek around off of that turret contact is perfect for Kev as he finds first blood.
Feels good, man, for the side of LEA, who are chasing after the tail of UBC. It really hasn't stopped, even though it's been close. They have been chasing. They have not been able to take a significant lead at all.
They haven't had a lead this game. Just at all.
Yeah, so difficult times for sure. That's gonna be a corner though. Trailblazer finds his mark and they are identified to 1. Can they find a little bit more? Headshots galore as Lunar tags 1 and then below the belt. Easy does it as Flawed says, I don't even need to worry. Straight shot through the belly. CNM is out. Down to a 2v5. This one's even better. Flawed shoots a corner, doesn't hit on blue, and instead leaves an opportunity. Rest of the team crowds around the side. As Suzuki is looking. Spike is down in that gated. And that's going to leave it open to Lunar. Lunar finds a headshot of Suzuki, and it's down to a 1v5. Blue finds a quick deke. And at this point, it's just looking for the opportunities. A swing and away from the blind means that you find Flawed as well. And again, at this point, just look for those kills, and you don't see Super Kev or hear Super Kev sneak around the backside. You were able to take out 2 at least. Didn't make it flawless, but it's still around at the side of LEA.
And Langara able to find a great round for themselves. Lunar holding down the fort. Flood finds their 1, but Super Kev opening that up with a great little lurk up B there. Just waiting for their time, waiting for the contact of that turret, knowing full well that the side of UBC didn't have any money to work with. But look at these ultimates available for UBC Blue. They could potentially tick over to 5 of them on the board. You just have to drop all of them. You need to find round wins at the end of the day. That is what is important here. Langara sort of coming in here as what we thought was going to be maybe the 5th seed or the weakest team has shown up against UBC Blue and really pushing them to their limits here. And Langara just continue to exert their force here, keep pace with UBC. Granted, this round might have to slow it down, make sure that everything is cleared out. This lockdown, though, will get destroyed by those paint shells, and that's what's so strong about Raisin to Killjoy.
Yeah, all the changes here have made it a little bit easier to get around those corners for those breaks, so it's been very, very nice for them. For right now, though, still trying to try and pick out exactly where they want to go. You can see here it's a little bit of chase back. They went back to a default setup here with Spike still on mound. So really keep that one in mind. We'll have to watch and see if they want to commit. 45 seconds left. I think this is one of the longer cooldowns that they waited. Longer timelines that they waited, at least in a round. So, I mean, if they want to commit, they need to start moving forward now. Not a single kill has gone down. So this is leaning towards LEA. And in favor of their squad, they do have a lockdown Lunar saying, hey, this is a chance. So UBC going to walk their way forward. And it is granted all the time in the world as LEA get ready for a retake.
Yeah, Viper's Pit invested, though. And with Lunar's lockdown available, they're just going to pop that. That pit has to be given up unless they're able to push through for that. The rocket goes through. It finds Lunar as well as the lockdown. And now the pit is secured. Mineko find that boom bot through, looking for any sort of angle possible. Remyauti is up on an off angle now with that teleport. Just waiting for members to peek through. Finds Crimes. Location is given up, though. Now 2 members here. Peeking the wrong way. Remyauti, great drop down. And now Flawed just going to try and save that operator with everything that they can. UBC expend. Believe it was 4 ultimates for that round, but it ends up paying dividends as they get to double digits.
I mean, Remyauti showing why you move after taking a snipe. It is the exact reason you do. For right now, it is a move up. They maintain their lead, but Adam, you were talking about it earlier. You were saying, hey, you know, the only way things can get a little bit hectic and crazy is if they match round for round all the way through. If everything ties up and things get wild, I mean, that would be crazy. At this point, the teams all seem to be going straight for that max round count. I think it just goes to show, you were also talking about, you know, the number 2 versus number 5 seed and all that. At this point, the teams have already solidified that no matter what, the placings doesn't matter. It feels like the teams are all saying we are all actively skilled, and that will not end. Everyone is getting close. That's going to be a double shell forward. Mineko saying, hey, I got the fancy raised plays. You do not.
And look at these angles that they're holding as well. The operator from Flood has pushed up all the way on C mound. Everyone is pushing up on A as well. They are contesting this site for everything that they can. And it's forcing UBC into a little bit of a catch-22. Either you rotate out and Flood is able to get a lot of value until Flood rotates out as well and Blue finds the pick onto Mineko, or you force into A here. Seems as if they're still going to force into A regardless. The dog going to chase down Crimes, at the very least, to get a little bit more information. Will they continue on to the A site, though, knowing full well there's a Killjoy set up here? That's the main question, as UBC Blue, they're still taking so much time just chilling behind rubble here, waiting to push forward under their own terms.
I mean, those terms better be coming up quick here. 30 seconds left once again. You see here, Ramaldi just waiting. Ramaldi has had some of the best flanks that we've seen, but now teleports right in the middle, and this is quite a dangerous spot. Double teleports in, long and short, into the speed site. And says I want a chance, hard spray. Not much else held. That's gonna be the call. Suzy Q finds Flawed. That is big.
Yeah, just got a little bit of that angle first. Now Suzuki can try and go around for a little bit of a flank of their own. Super Cabo with this Odin just needs to spray on these common angles, try and hold down the site. But look at the setup that's already there. Blue just blocking off access to Blue themselves. So little time. Suzuki has gone all the way around. Finds two with the spray down, the collat. And Super Cabo needs to try and defuse, will not be able to do so. Blue jumps into the smoke. And now 2 rounds away are UBC Blue. Back and forth the series goes, and now look at the buy that comes through from the side of Langara. It's a little bit all over the place. There's an operator, there's a marshal, there's a vandal, there's a specter, and then there's whatever Mineko can pick up, another vandal. It's not going to be the cleanest of buys, but the UBC Blue economy is starting to boom a little bit here, and this could be Langara pushed onto their last legs.
And to me, it's quite surprising. I will always prefer to save and buy up in the next, and I think that's what they could do, right? I mean, you see the buy. They don't have as many shields as they would like, but it's still an opportunity, and I understand it for sure. You go ahead, buy up here. You have enough to half buy again the next. But this is what happens. Ramaldi and Suzy Q were ready. Lights up 2 as Mineko goes, where the heck do my teammates go? Painful stat, as that's another one. Day brings out the sunlight in Mineko's eyes.
Yeah, now this A site is all for the taking. Little Sunrise arriving up saying, oh, A site is yours, as Crimes and Flawed just need to try and find some sort of angle back in. Flawed has that operator once again, though, and I don't really know if you want to risk it here. Granted, you have to try and find round wins. It doesn't matter if you keep the op. You got to find the round win somehow. And ops are notoriously weak at retaking sites. They're gonna save.
Yeah, I don't think they have a choice. Again, this is moving into dangerous spot. And I mean, you do save here, you give yourself a better chance on game point. But either way, it's dangerous all around. That is a flawless round technically for the side of UBC. No one died, barely anyone touched. It's such a danger. We are now on game point for UBC to go ahead and take this one. And all they need is just an opportunity. Single chance, and they will move to 2-0 here in the group stages, firmly locking themselves into the upper echelon. I believe enough to make it into the first and second spot would be 3.
Yes.
That would be more than enough. So, you know, hey, only time will tell.
Yeah, it depends on the rest of the bracket as well, who actually knows about what will end up being sort of the key marker and all that, but nonetheless, UBC Blue looking to sort of take that into their own hands, really put the pressure on the other teams. Getting 2 wins right off the bat is a great way to make a statement for yourself. Flawed fires a shot to try and push some pressure forward, is unable to land it, and now under duress, this Jet has to back all the way off. Mineko with that judge, looking to lay down the law, but unfortunately, it's going to be dashing right into everyone. That is not what you wanted to do if you're oh no, Mineko. That is not the game plan. And now pressure is going to be put onto Super Kev. Everyone else has to rotate over, but there is oh so little time to contest this. Super Kev actually gets behind enemy lines. Spraying and praying is going to be one today, but taking a little bit of chip damage on the way out. Is just going to try and get out with their life. This op timing just missed.
That is a crazy turn. Eventually, you see the gun come around the corner, so Flawed gets an easy shot. Grimes has another, and the buy is working. Flawed peeks around and gets another headshot. Ramowdy, there's only one left alive. Ramowdy wants to hang this one up on the wall, wants to finish it off. Takes a couple spray shots, and is down to forward. There is no chance. Flawed finishes things off, and it is done. Round over. Time is ticking away, but that's a lot of gun rounds to get through here. This was a chance, and they absolutely grabbed the round by the horns. LEA not out of this one yet.
Yeah, LEA just holding down the line. Flawed with a nice little off angle there. Was opping C, just rotated right through broken door. And that wall timing. Sort of getting a little bit of an assist from Blue almost by dropping that wall right as they walked past. And then Flawed was just able to peek back and find a 3-piece for himself. Now, a couple more rounds to work with here. Of course, UBC still going to be able to buy out for the next 2 rounds. There's no worry about their economy. On the side of Langara, now their economy is going to be fine for the rest of this half as well. But it just comes down to where they opt to fire their executes. There's still 2 members over towards this C site trying to take as much space as possible. Super Kev lurked up towards B. They know exactly where these players are. They've corralled them in towards A once again. Last time around, this didn't work out so well for UBC. With Flawed pushing on the operator as well. Ooh. The jig is now up as CNM spots out that op. Decides away from it. Look at where Blue is, though. Sitting right on switch. There's 2 members right on the opposite side of tree here. Will you find the peak in time? Gets shut down.
Mineko says thank you so much for that one. Super Kev knows that someone's on the other side, and Day was ready for it. Just seemed in a moment, heard the footsteps and fired away. Suzuki says another is in the books. It's down to a 4v3. Opportunities bound as Flawed now has the knives out. Should hear some footsteps, but I mean, that's going to be a chance in its own. Right now, huge convergence and on the backside. You can see 2 members meeting over there and C. They're back to back here. Such a dangerous spot, by the way. That doorway is holding things up. Oh, and that's going to be Day. Finds Crimes. Looking for another shell. Pops him up. He gets the kill. Day, what a beauty. What a stroke. What's a masterpiece. 13-10 as UBC move to 2.
Yeah, great stuff coming through from UBC, especially to clutch out that game. Langara gave it everything they got, but it just was a little bit short. We talked about round differential here. That might end up being a decider because a lot of these games are going down to the wire. You know, -3, +3 for either one of these teams. It's not going to be much distinguishing them from each other. So nonetheless, great stuff coming through from both of these teams. As you mentioned, UBC Blue moving to 2-0. They've got themselves quite comfortably, at least in the top 3. They've already got 2 wins under their belt. But up next for them is Keanu, who had a very strong performance, as well as SFU Flamingo. So it doesn't get easier from here for UBC Blue. They'd be happy to go away with this victory, but of course it's not over for them quite yet. I am interested to see if they can potentially wrangle everything back in their favor and get themselves a win over one of those 2 teams to secure themselves in the final. Because if you get to 3 wins, you are guaranteed, I believe, to get into those finals in some aspect, I believe.
That's what they're going to hope to go for. Of course, we have another team coming up here, 1 returning and 1 new. We've seen so far 4 teams played out here. So it's going to be SFU and McGill to come up next. So please don't go anywhere. The CIE will continue in just a bit. And welcome back, everyone, here to the CIE, the Canadian Intercollegiate Exhibition. We are getting close to about halfway, about 2/5 of the way through our group stage for the 5 teams that are currently joining us here for this week. It has been a very crazy ride, as pretty much every game has come very close to going the distance. We had an OT in game number 1, we had a 13-10 in game number 2. And now things are shaping up as we start to see the top of the top, as well as teams that are unfortunately hitting those moments where they need to start stepping up.
Yeah, and here we've got, McGill versus SFU Flamengo. Granted, SFU Flamengo playing with the sub for this one. Juka is out. Sock Monkey 28 is in. Not sure if they have any other IGNs, but hey, they're in. They're ready to play. And McGill has had a little bit of a rougher time of things. Of course, SFU Flamengo have been doing as expected thus far. But I want to see how this plays out because we are going to Pearl of all things. And Pearl is one of these maps where you either know how to play it or you don't. And it's so odd that Pearl got through. That's what I'm thinking.
I think it's that moment where you're just like, you know what? Maybe we agree. Maybe they agreed on it beforehand, and just like, yeah, let's go for it. And to give a little context, McGill, we'll see them for round 3 and round 4, so this round and next. But they're currently sitting at an 0-2. This is a squad that definitely needs a couple wins under the belt. If they do not win here, it is almost a surefire lockout of a consistent factor. They will not have a chance later on. And as you're going to go ahead and see, the players stepping up will be Invincimax, A10, as well as Topaz, Arcolm, and Arthur. I would say Carther, but I'm not sure if that is the actual.
I'm pretty sure it's Arthur. Yeah.
Arthur, yeah. So we'll see how it goes. But either way, they do have a very large hill to work up, and as we said, it's a difficult choice, right? SFU have looked on a streak. They're currently 1 of 2. The other one being UBC currently challenging for the number 1 spot right now, untouched. I'd say undefeated, if you will.
Yes. And I think the major thing is the other game that's going on right now is Kiana versus Alangara. If Kiana are able to win that one out, they will be sitting at 2-1. They'll be feeling pretty good about themselves. Of course, SFU Flamengo had the bye for the last segment there. This is them at 1-0, looking to try and get themselves back in the driver's seat. Maybe find a little bit more of a dominant victory as well, as that's what we were expecting from them off the rip, to sort of just get in here and get dominant with it here. But nonetheless, looking at the team comps coming down, we have a Reyna coming through from Arthur. We have a Phoenix coming out from Kaho. These are 2 agents that I love to see on Pearl specifically. And honestly, it's not the first time I've seen them either. I know Converse University was a big fan of playing Reyna on this map because your flashes get so much more value along these long corridors. You've got B long, you can throw it down mid, you can throw it down that B link area, you can throw it through A main as well. But Phoenix also has a lot of value here as well because you get that extra wall, you get the flashes around mid, specifically B connector. There's a lot of different ways that you can play this out. And A10 already going to be able to pick up a kill on the Kaho, so we're not going to see that Phoenix pop off the map to start this one off.
Can't do that when you're dead. Unfortunately, the ult wasn't in time, Can't have it in round 1 as much as you wish, so feels bad, man. Difficult time, but
Phoenix can charge it up in round 1. This is
true.
It's very funny when it happens, though. It didn't happen.
You're just like,
we're not going to talk about it. It didn't happen.
Was this experience in one of your rank games? Come on, be honest.
Well, I got my ult in round 1, and it was hilarious. I'm just running forward with the frenzy, and I'm running out of bullets because you just run forward when you have Phoenix ult.
That's amazing. Right now, though, it is a chance and a half. We are seeing that A-side push, a main being the main entry point, and then Link being the other, so it's a 3-2 pinch in. Everyone on the other side, though, backing up Sock Monkey, ready to go. And this is a chance. SFU backing away, get ready for a chance, but A10 gets the plant down. And now here comes the retake. They have to be a little bit careful, though. This is McGill going, how the heck do we defend? Long range, that crosshair, setting it up on the heads, but not landing too many shots. Sock Monkey's still waiting around the corner. But that's going to be Crown dancing on one glow, gets a nice little body shot on Invinci. Goes down to a 3v3 through the wall, get a tap number 1, but nothing more. And Arcom saying, hey, just give me a moment. You swing 1-2, and Glow gets a chance. And the ability's already charged. Are you kidding me? Ready to go. Hoping for a little bit of a chance, but they are still dancing. How have they not gotten the kill? There goes Arcom, last one alive, and dances out, just playing for time. Get quick tap on there, but I mean, you only got 1 bullet left. There is not enough time, and that will be the round going the way of McGill to kick things off.
Yeah, Glow actually comes up huge in that round. Stu got 5 assists, even though there was only 4 kills because he got a flash on, or he got a couple shots onto the Jet as well as he died to the spike. Good job to Stu. He's currently on pace for a lot of assists if he keeps getting 5 every round. That would be very funny if he did. But of course, great start from McGill. And I think this is what's important when you're already down in your record. You know, you're down 0-2. You had a really rough loss to Keanu. I think it was 13-2 or something like that. You just need to come off the board and really just go for it. And I think finding that pick early from A10 onto Kaho is absolutely massive. And now you get that weapon upgrade. As we've said so many times, it is expected that the team that wins pistol ends up winning that second round. And with only the Jet buying up a Marshall this time around, no full force coming through from the side of SFU. Oof. Never mind. The Marshall's off the board. Forget I said anything. Now the advantage definitely goes in favor of McGill.
McGill going, yep. We're happy about this one. Just chasing up. You got all 5. The star's going out to block off path, and this is one of the changes that a lot of people were very, very excited about. Only need 1 smoke to cover the entirety, and now the chase in catches them all by surprise as Arcolm and Topaz light up that kill feed. It's all down to Kaho, who is sitting on a single classic. Stare at the gun all you want. It ain't
he's flexing his Radiant buddy. That's what he's doing. Let me get him.
Give me the strength. Give me the strength to get an ace here. Please let me be blessed with a disgusting amount of kills. Are you ready? You see 1 gun barrel, you take a couple shots out here. Ooh. Yep, that feels a little bit bad, but it's the expected outcome.
Yes, expected outcome, but another flawless. Well, not another. A flawless. Just a singular flawless coming through from the side of McGill this time around. They're going to be feeling pretty good about everything. But now you get the full buys coming back the opposite way. This is what you were looking for if you're the side of SFU Flamingo. You want to continue to push forward your advantages as much as possible. But nonetheless, over time, you'll see McGill try and open up the map a little bit more. I think especially with these guns, they just want to try and take some of these closer quarter fights with the Spectre, with the Bulldogs. That's really what you want to do. You don't want to be fighting along B long, especially against Phantoms and Vandals. That dog, though, going to spot out a member up mid, and exactly as we expected, they're playing through mid. They're trying to find some of these closer angle fights, and SFU were expecting it. They're all there to join up.
More than excited to just go ahead, play close. Not worry too much. Default not giving much information to the other side. McGill. I found some rapid shots, but nothing more. And again, the guns, I think, is what scares them the most. It's the idea that, hey, they have bought up. It's a dangerous spot to be in. Low. Topaz saying, I have a chance. Ooh. Just opens up, says, give me that kill. And now a gun on the table if they so wish to pick it up. A Crown gonna be guarding across that one. You see the rotate off on the far end, straight to defender's spawn. The mid is, look at this pinch. I love this. Up mid connector as well as Art. It is going to be a pinch of souls. Topaz finds one with the Trailblazer. Arcolm, though, finds Sock Monkey.
Yeah, that's exactly what you wanted to do. Pushing up through Art. Crown, though, going to turn around that corner, find 1. Arthur going to trade it back. Glow trades up once again. Number still going to be now tied up here. McGill sort of caught unawares on the side. Arcolm able to find one in return, and it's now down to Arcolm versus Stu. Stu with 150 effective HP here. Arcolm with very much less than that. Has to try and find a plant as well. Time is ticking. Has to start the plant right now. Believe he will get that down in time.
0.25 left on the clock, by the way.
This is such a difficult... Oh, never mind. It's not a difficult angle to play from. He can't play from the angle at all because he's dead. Stu clears it out. He's looking for a gun. I'm not sure what he... Oh, he's going to shoot Kaho.
Oh.
You know what? You know what? That is 100% acceptable considering that Kaho died there.
Just really, dude, really, that's what you choose your last rights. Either way, though, it is the round as we expected, but still very pricey. McGill honestly did extremely good work there, right? In those situations, yes. In that third round, you will always feel like you are going to lose, no matter what, because of the gun disadvantage and everything. Your main job there is just knock out the econ. Don't let them bulk up any more than they already can. And you did your job. You knocked out 4 members. They now have to buy up, and it's going to be difficult, and you have fresh equipment pretty much everywhere. You do have the ult online with the Blade Storm, so that's going to be handy as well. So for a majority share, McGill, you're doing okay. You're thriving. The question, of course, with guns in both hands, is this where we see SFU really kick things into high gear? And I mean, for them, in the game that we did watch in game number 1, it took them a while. It took them a while to come online. Here on Pearl, though, they've been warmed up. They're ready to go. We want to see this team that has played at such a high level be able to tear through and really show us what they got.
Yeah, and something I want to point out as well, Crown has the judge. We're about to see action on the Crown as well. I'll tell the story about this. Oh, okay, never mind, he died. Archolm clears him out really well. And something I wanted to point out, there was a game in grand finals against UBC, I believe, of CVAL Spring, where I think Crown got like 12 out of his 18 kills on the judge. It was ridiculous.
Okay.
We started just ripping on him for it, because they're like, dude, just shoot a real gun. We're getting angry about it, because I was like, come on, you can't be doing this to people. And then he switched over to the Odin afterwards and got even more kills. Come on, man. Not less. There's the story behind Crown's judge. The Crown
so
judge,
good,
one could say.
So good, though. I mean, it's also funny to watch, but right now Glow hears everyone running down the side and knows that they got to make a play, but gets blinded out and gives away their position as well. Still gets a shot off. That's a very quick tap, and Glow honestly makes it out alive for only a second, but A10 able to trade it back up down to a 2v4. Wow. But Archolm and A10 show them no mercy. What is this? McGill off to a lightning round number 3 for themselves.
Yeah, they find everything that they were looking for. They'll have the full buys, and now the opposite side, it is just Glow with the knives who can really fight back. Kaho has enough credits to potentially buy Hero Rifle and will do so. But thus far, this Phoenix hasn't quite worked out the way that they have wanted it to. The Reyna has found a lot more value thus far. Arthur has done a great job just dropping down these Leers, preventing a lot of aggression coming through from the side of SFU. And I think Archolm has been sort of the main... just everything for them thus far. 7-1 has done absolutely everything to find leads for McGill, and has been a Kickstarter, a spark plug for them to find 3 rounds already against the side of SFU Flamingo. Glow gonna fire 1 knife. Says, nah, I'm not down for it. Kaho is gonna get spotted out by the alarm bot. The jig is up. They are just running right through Art. This is the opposite of the pincer. They are about to spread out after hitting this A site. Stock Monkey held no chance there.
Which I think is appropriate. Again, gun control, but that's a quick tap to the head. Right clicks are OP, and the fact that you're even allowed to reload is almost criminal. Arthur gonna hold it down here, and Kaho can't do anything.
Arthur's
knife goes wide as Glow is looking for another, but it is a big chance. Lear goes up, and a little bit of a blind there as Glow still finds it through the smoke. Archolm said, hey, you can't do that for free. Down to a 1v3 Stu, looking the long way. Swings and looks some, but didn't take the shot. I mean, it's difficult either way. That's going to be 4. The side of McGill, as they're doing pretty dang well here at the start.
Yeah, they're starting to heat up here as well. Archolm finds another couple of kills. A10 finds 2. Arthur has been doing a great job for themselves as well. Everyone is getting involved, and that's what I really like about this McGill roster. This is a team that hadn't had a whole lot of CVAL success overall. They're a team that's very good. They're part of the, I would say in collegiate, there's like 3 tiers. They're part of like the middle of tier 2 to tier 3 area, right? Where they're a very good team. They can take maps off of stronger teams than them, but over the course of like a best of 3 or a best of 5, which is what CVAL comes down to, they're not really going to stand much of a chance as the strategies kick in. In a best of 1, all bets are off. You just need to hit your shots. If you can start hitting your shots well, McGill might be able to play spoiler here, and especially with how strong Keanu has looked, especially with how strong UBC Blue looked, you have to be worried for SFU Flamingo if you're starting to fall behind in these maps. You can't be giving teams huge leads like you did in map number 1 and expect to get away with it. Granted, Kaho and Crown are just going to link up for 3 total. Invincimax going to find Glow, but now a 2v4. The spike is down in no man's land. It is all down to your Astra on Invincimax. This is going to be very difficult to deal with here. The Astra can only do so much. Kaho's still pushing aggressively. This is what we love to see out of Kaho. Will get shut down, actually, as Invincimax finds a shot.
Yeah. And that's going to be damaging. I mean, you know what? You took 2 to the grave with you. That's more than maybe what the rest of the team was expecting, but that is showing signs of life. You did say it yourself, right? As SFU, you do not want to give up extra rounds. You do not want to allow McGill to get away with these kind of cheap leads, and you're able to keep it to 2, which is respectable once again. But honestly, huge ups to McGill as they have a decent chunk to work with. You can see multiple members. This is able to buy up. They're happy about it here. No worries on their end. It is going to be that question of another gun round comes about and SFU need to lay down the law. They need to start kind of getting this close pressure because this is a tough one. You expect at least 1 out of the 5 ults to be used here, maybe 2 on the side of McGill. They have so much to work with and so many different angles that, I mean, if you want to send out the Seekers, it wouldn't be bad. Get a good handle on the information gathering and be able to tell where the rest of SFU is and then work your way from there. But you have, like, the world's your oyster right now when you have 5 ults on the board.
Yeah, and something I'd like to see is that A10 is just... What the heck was that alarm bot doing? That alarm bot was doing a gritty. Just going side to side, you know? Busting a move. Nonetheless, I like that play from A10 just to sort of lurk and wait for Kaho to get aggressive. And while it did burn 40 seconds off the clock, that's important. That's big for the side of both McGill and SFU. SFU are burning time off of the clock. McGill are just finding out where everyone is. These Seekers go out and look at how many people are over towards this A side. It's an A bias here from the side of SFU Flamingo. Whereas McGill read this and say, hey, 5P, let's go.
Easy. Just, this is the standard. Just go ahead and push. Cosmic Divide goes up and... I mean, nothing to it. They make it look like it's a walk in the park, and really it was. Rest of the team still scrambling to make their way over. As the plane goes down, the final 2 do rotate, but it's a 3-player hold until the rest of the team gets here.
It's lockdown.
And the fact of the matter is they're not going to have too much time to rotate either.
Yeah, and the lockdown is on the opposite side of that Cosmic Divide, so it's so hard to push that the Cosmic Divide goes down, and now the run it back is coming through. Pushing forward in here. It's on to Arthur. Arthur finds it, immediately dismisses out. Has popped the efforts as well. Will get shut down, but takes one down with him. The trades are going back and forth. It's a 3v2 in favor of SFU Flamingo. And now their own Astro Wall is going to be playing spoiler here. Through the wall, A10 pushes. But now no one is left there to try and clean this up. The round is going to go to SFU Flamingo. Glow finds a 3K.
I mean, honestly, they had to rush. That was their only option. They couldn't rotate out into the likes of B-Link or anything like that. They knew they had to pressure through, and they did it just right. And that is that point of Kaho playing on that Phoenix. It is the perfect way to brute force your way in, forcing Invincimax out of that angle, forcing them out from Hall. That is such a devastating position to lose, especially with the Cosmic Divide. So well played to SFU. Very, very well done. And now you put yourself within 1. And if you win this one, you'll also lock down McGill's econ. They've been able to buy up multiple times in a row now. If you win this one, you should hold down at least 1 member. Ooh. And Glow and Kaho take some swing peeks and then some beautiful shots. Looking for a third. No, Topaz says not today. A10 gonna follow up on the back side, but it's still a 3v2 at the end of the day. Glow chasing around for Topaz, and you see the angle. Couple more taps, 1 to the arm as Topaz finally goes down. So 1v3 after only 25 seconds of play.
Yeah, just quick action on both sides. You know, we were still analyzing the last round, and they say, oh, let's just go for it. And Vincimax is... Yeah, that's a full flash. You can't see anything. Stu with a great swing. Tied up at 4s here. And McGill, the momentum that they held from the beginning here is starting to fall away a little bit. The wheels are falling off the bus. L'autobus n'arrive pas, as they would say in Montreal. I had to throw in the French at some point. You know how to do it. And they actually get a timeout. And I like this. I like to see the timeouts coming through from these teams. They have them available. Might as well use them. And I think especially after a round like that where you just lost in the first 30 seconds, you just want to slow it down. You want to say, hey, listen, this is the strat. We know we don't have the best of buys. Let's make sure that we're executing on everything that we need to.
Take some time. Calm down. Take a sip. You know, grab yourself a nice coffee.
A cup
espresso, a latte. Well, you know, maybe a croissant, right? Only 3. That's not too bad. You know,
yeah,
ham and cheese
it's
also a pretty good option.
Is it 3 credits? Like
yeah.
Valorant credits? Is it like 3 like Canadian dollars? Well, this is in Portugal, right? Is it 3 euros?
Ooh. I don't know. Either way, if it's creds, I feel like they would just completely buy out this shop, right? You're looking at some of them, they can gather up
they have
like
diet milk. Wait a sec. They have diet milk. What is diet milk?
I mean, I think the clue's in the name, right? It's diet milk.
Yeah, have you ever had diet milk before, Orbital?
I All right, you win that one.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Hey, don't. No. All right, get back into it, though. We are into a tied game 4-4 as we get a chase on the A once again. But Crowner is ready for it this time. Vandal straight to the dome. As Arthur is not going to enjoy this one. High in the air, Skeet shooting goes down. But it might not be enough. Again, it's still a trade out 1-for-1. But overall, it's a 1-for-2. And Vincent Max waiting on the wings, as that's going to be Sock Monkey taken down. Cannot fire fast enough. And Vincent Max is almost invincible, but Glow says not today. 2v2. Now, as the spike is planted, and defenders have to get on site.
And this is such a hard hold as well because of all the Killjoy util. Jet doesn't have her knives, but has the Vandal in hand now. A10 doesn't quite have the tools that they need. That alarm bot's going to go out as well. Just going to force it out. Just dashing into the smoke. What is going on? Stu, like a madman, dashes into the cloud burst and finds both of them. He full flashed himself and just said, I don't care.
I mean, there wasn't a moment to lose, right? You can't not do something. You just go for it. You go ahead, lay it all down on the line, and you make it work. Taking the lead. This is SFU stealing it back at just the tail ends of this first half, 5-4. And honestly, it's looking like another close half. I think the largest lead that we've seen overall at half is an 8-4 difference. Only 4 rounds. And I mean, that wasn't, I think, game number 1 itself. And it was SFU that were actually down. So, you know, this time they have a chance to step up to the plate. 3 ults in their pocket as well. The lockdown as well as the run it back. So much available. And they'll be used to maybe give themselves a leg up here. But you can see the smoke going down. Rest of the squad. McGill saying, bees are home. Glow getting ready for it. Dances up but gets taken out. Arthur was ready for it.
I think the next level of that, past Arthur just being ready for that, is McGill are going to rotate off of this. They're going to force all of these members over. And McGill's strategies are very good. I like to see these strategies come through because they're playing smart. They're not just playing to win on their aim. And I think they're taking advantage of SFU getting a little bit overconfident from time to time. Crown is here, though. Is ready for the engage. Has put some stars down. Has put some smokes down. Is going to even get smoked off himself. A10 will get this plant down, though, as the rest of the members pull through. The numbers advantage for McGill. How do they execute on that? Stu's just going to find one for himself right off the rip. Trades on trades on trades once again. Kaho is going to just run it back. Able to find a kill on the Arquam once again in the sky. Topaz with a great angle. Can just sit there waiting for the corpse to come back. And Topaz looking more like he's golden here. Find the last couple picks.
Oh, that's one of those feels bad moments, right? As a Phoenix player, I mean, you didn't really have any other choice. It's not like you could, oh, I can choose where I teleport back to. No. There's nothing like that. So well played by Topaz. Gives them a 5-5 score, and that lead, that 1-round lead that was available, it is quickly snatched right back. We are currently tied. 2 more rounds to play in the half. It's going to be dangerous. It's going to be all important that these two are played out to peak efficiency. I mean, Topaz knows it better than most. Sends out the Trailblazer very early on in the round, just saying, hey, can you find anything? Clears out a majority share. But that's going to be a very deep A main push with all the util in the world. Tossed down by the KJ. Lockdowns on both sides are actually activated. And I mean, that's going to be, in itself, 2 big pieces of util that neither side will have after the plant.
Yeah, and I think the main thing about A10 was that they were playing for a little bit of a bait. Meanwhile, on the flip side, they're not playing for a bait. Glow is here. Glow hears all these footsteps. How many knives can you land? There's 1, there's 2, dashes away. Almost got the 3rd one. Arquam shuts it down. But so much damage dealt to the side of McGill. Crown as well. Coming through with Kaho. They'll flash around the corner. What can they find? It's a pincer here as Kaho and Sock Monkey find a couple more. Crown will not get griefed by his team. Will get flashed by Kaho because Kaho's having too much fun. But SFU get their 6th round.
Oh, man. That was a chance and a half, and they took it. Very, very nicely done. And Glow popping up 14 frags to their name. 2.0 just between the K and Ds. I mean, they're happy about it. Of course, the largest extensive lead that they could have is a 2-round lead headed into the second half, and they want to hit it. So for right now, Topaz, once again, same strat as before. Trailblazer clears out a good chunk of that entry. That's going to be Link possibly looked at, but look how far up outside B ramp that is currently pushed. This is SFU going, yeah, we're not letting you get that chance once again. We will maintain this pressure, and especially because that Cosmic Divide is currently a threat, they want to make sure the Divide will not give any extra room to run. McGill just saying, hey, we'll keep it safe, we'll keep it smart. We're not going to do anything too hasty.
They're taking their time. Just moving forward, seeing what they can find. Sock Monkey is sitting in sewer. I don't know what he's holding. Arthur just shuts it down. Glow, though, has a great angle here. Can play for both sides of the map, and look at this push from McGill. Oh no, Kaho's come around the side, but within the smoke, Arthur finds a second kill for themselves. Arthur now has that ultimate. The Astral Divide gonna come down as well. The wall is up. Arthur has so much room to work with. It is simply Stu to try and hold this down for the time being. Arthur right in front of Stu. Stu's gonna be able to shut that down, but Arthur found 3 on the round, and now he 3v2. The plant's still waiting to come down. Stu jiggling it. Not gonna be able to find anything, as they're just gonna shut it down. Let's get the plant through.
No need to make it any crazy as Arcombe finds Stu. It's all down to a 1v3, and Glow's got to make a glowing play here. And this one goes down to block him out just a little bit further and gets a headshot. That's going to be one. A10 in the back lines, hiding around that smoke. I mean, that could be a chance. Gets a second Glow. Could make it happen. Has all the util in the books to be able to lay down this defuse, but that well is going to cause some problems. Quick tap to the body. Drops him down to 120. Left, right, left, right. Shot goes out. Another tap. Looks left. Another smoke goes up, and time is winding down, and Vincemax knows that you don't have to go crazy, but you do instead! And you give the round over. I mean, you had to look, you had to peek, I know that, but it feels so good for Glow to clutch that one out and put them at a 2-round lead. Dab all you want, that's a 3K, huge.
And Glow keeps it at the advantage for SFU, and their comp is going to start to evolve on the attacking side. You've got Phoenix with these extra flashes, with the extra wall. You've got so much more control that I really feel like you needed to find that round back for McGill. They started out so well in this half, and now it started to fall apart a little bit more as SFU Flamingos start to get into their comfort zone. You can see it right there as our observer pulls it up there. 6 out of the last 7 rounds going in favor of Simon Fraser University. McGill have to wrest back control in their favor. And it all comes off of the back of Glow, who wasn't really able to get off the ground in that first map playing the breach. This time around on the Jet has been flying high like no one else here. Sock Monkey is the sub as well, you know, doing their best, doing what they can. Sock Monkey is gaming. That's what we know for sure.
It is going to be that chance, but now into this pistol. Just like others, it's going to be a skill check as it's 1-1. Arcombe started it off, but Stu was able to finish it. And on their attack, this is where we get to see their team kind of ramp it up. And I really like it because, again, the Phoenix lends itself to a bit more aggressive play style, in my opinion. You got to run forward, you got to go crazy, and you get to not really care about the consequences, at least when you have the ult up. Kaho sends a blind around the side. Flashbang doesn't really catch anyone, but it opens up a chance for Crown to take out Arthur. Kaho follows up as well. Has a ghost rip through people. That's going to be a 2K for the Phoenix before they finally go down. But Vincemax cannot last forever as Stu claims a 2 for themselves as well.
Yeah, had the entire team of Dinosaur. I don't know why they have that in front of their names. They all claim a couple of kills each there. Crown getting on the board as well. And now with the force coming through, I'm curious if Stu is going to opt for a rifle here. It is potentially an option. They're just going to go for Spectres, though. They want to make sure that they're keeping their economy in decent shape. Crown not even going to buy that one up so that they can potentially afford... Oh, never mind. It's back to Crown Judge. What did we expect? Did we expect anything different? Of course they were going to go for the Judge. Nonetheless, pushing forward once again aggressively onto this A side here. The blinds are good. Crown's going to shut that one down onto Topaz. And now everyone's just going to try and push forward once again as they just look to crunch down onto McGill.
Just trying to overwhelm with sheer firepower, and it's working here. Glow rushes forward, gets a drop on Vincemax, and is now inside his sight. Now going to push the rest of the defenders right back out. Look at the rush. Glow just does not give him a moment. Arthur shuts down at least one. You're looking for just a few more, but needs to wait for the rest of your team to get there. I mean, the rest of your team is only one, but it's more than enough than you were hoping for from before. Another orb goes down in the start, causes some problems. Sock Monkey rushes forward, and that'll be the finish. The chase lends itself to 5 dead and only losing 2 in the process.
And of course, that's only the Spectre, so you can still potentially buy up if you're Glow or Kaho. You can look for other options. Sock Monkey has enough credits to potentially buy a Vandal for someone if they so desire. There's lots of different angles for the side of SFU to go, but I think they've finally gotten their rhythm on tap here. They're looking to try and steamroll this McGill side. They will have a Vandal on the Glow, at the very least. Sock Monkey is going to be sitting on a large sum of cash here as well. This could be a make or break round for the side of McGill. This is their full investment. If they aren't able to find the round, they're going to be in deep trouble, giving over double digits. But Arquam, once again, very aggressive, going to find 2 for themselves. That's a great start to your round as Arthur. Just sort of sitting behind here. Uh-oh.
Oh.
Not sure what happened there.
Yeah. A little bit rough, either way. Difficult times whenever that thing happens in the middle of a round, but you got to play it out. And of course, Glow says, I'll play it out all I want. A10 is down, plant goes in, and it's very simple. All the way around. Tap, tap, 1-2. Looking for another. This could be one of the few times that we see a 3-0 start to a half. Sock Monkey goes ahead and waits their way back. It's 2v1. Couple little nanostorms go out, and Stu is ready. Just a simple shot. It is going to be 3 in a row here. That is the SFU that we know and understand to come about.
Yes. And now, 3 rounds to go for SFU if they want to just continue to snowball this one out. And Glow has the knives, doesn't need to buy up. Sock Monkey has more than enough to purchase for Kaho. Kaho says, nah, I'm going to take a page out of Crown's book, go for a judge. On the flip side, though, it is Arthur with my favorite Reyna loadout, which is just Vandal. And that's it. You just go for the Vandal. You look for a heal at some point. You just try and find a round off of that. But Arquam, though, pulls out the knives. They're going to be looking to get aggressive here as well. Watching through art here. As Glow just getting onto site, looking to get busy with it, and already up into heaven. This is such a difficult angle to hold as Crown takes out Arquam up mid. Kaho finds another one. This is looking rough. Has to run it back. Is going to be able to strike down. Arthur is able to take down Glow, though, and now this is where Reyna can get really strong because she basically has her shields back up now. Ooh.
Yeah, that's what you would think, at least for right now. Right now, though, it is a little bit of a difference as Sock Monkey just rushes through. 11-5 is the score. One of the largest leads we've seen so far on stream. A lead of 6 currently in the hands of SFU. That was a save previously, and now we get into the meat and potatoes. If they do win here, if SFU win, they will crunch down on the wallets of McGill, who have, in this half so far, not been able to win a single round. And that'll be a little bit scary, because remember, if McGill lose this one, they'll be sitting at an effective 0-3 against the other members, and that will pretty much solidify that they're just going to be playing spoiler the rest of the time.
Yeah, it would eliminate them at that point because Keanu has 2 wins, will potentially have 2 wins here, or it'll be SFU with 2 wins, or it'll be UBC with 2 wins, at which case you can't catch up. There's 3 teams that have more wins than you already. A10, though, going to shut down Kaho, who gets a little too crazy with the judge, and already onto site is Glow. Going to go up, and it's taken down by Topaz. If anyone was going to be used to shooting down birds, it would be Sky, but Crown able to reply in kind.
Sock Monkey goes ahead, gets the plant. Topaz, though, looking for an early retake. That's going to be a jump up. Arthur, though, can't find anything inside the Empress, but Topaz and A10 follow up behind. Stu is looking, gets a shot, and that's going to be half the defuse going off, and you're actually just going for it. That is crazy. You see it? Oh, you go for the reload. Topaz almost gets scared out of the britches, but it is the round their way.
Great stuff coming through from McGill. Need a big performance from Topaz that round to sort of secure it all up, but hey, whatever works. And that's sometimes what you have to go into these rounds thinking. You have to just say whatever works. I gotta find these round wins, and they are able to find it. They're able to stave off that map point for now. But consider the other end of this coin here. Sock Monkey has enough to buy up for someone else next round as well. Crown has the ultimate available, as the Sock Monkey. You really only have the secrets to answer, but the secrets don't really win you rounds. They just give you that information that can lead to it. It's a potential to win the round. You can see
like everything is kind of on that way too.
Yeah.
It's always a potential, right? It just adds to that, that percentage chance of getting those kills and winning the round.
Yes, but there's some ults that give you higher percentage to get.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
If you think about it, a Phoenix ult is going to be better for winning a round than a Sky ult is sometimes. Just because you just go in, you get kills, and you're good to go. As Arcol and Carter, they get themselves a couple of kills as well. Arthur finds another one. Just gets right out of there. As Crown finds another answer.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a dance, but Crown answers right back. There is no Empress to save him, down to a 2v2. Remember, this is dangerous territory. If they lose this one, that's gonna be both Astros running around the corner. What a wide swing to give Kaho an opportunity. The bait and switch tactic, but that's gonna be Topaz firing right back. Oh my lord, Kaho went for the util and gave the opportunity to Topaz.
That's one of those rounds where nothing, everything. Because everything all happens at once as McGill are able to retake that against all odds, I want to say. Crown started out that round so hot with 3 kills, a fourth with a nice little swing assist there. But now you look at the opposite side, and SFU's money's starting to look a little bit worse for wear. They've got a good buy this round. Next round isn't going to be amazing. McGill are able to hold the line here. They could start to get things back into their control. Lockdown, though, going to get invested.
Well, only time will tell as that lockdown finally takes out, but it's a duel. Arthur wins it out. Crown cannot beat them. Bakao is able to fire back. Now looking for 2. Glow able to drop down the smoke, but not before Topaz takes him out. Topaz has been instrumental. Some of these round wins, but they are finally down. 3v2 left. Lockdown is available for 8-10, but really, is there a spot that's going to work for you? You're only 2, and it's going to be difficult to try and defend. Alarm bot kind of goes off. Oh, many information granted. It's going to be an orb up on top. Arthur taps real quick. Rest of the team ready to go. SFU saying this is an opportunity. That's going to be the chance. Kaho takes that one away with the 3K. Last one alive. 8-10. Can't do nothing but watch as death rains down around them.
Now into that point, the economy that we were talking about from the side of SFU is going to be fine. They just need one more round. But you look at the opposite side, there's nothing. They've been full buying every single round the side of McGill has. And despite Arcolm and Arthur coming up huge in a couple of these rounds, as well as Topaz just coming through in the clutch, you're left down to a Vandal, a Bulldog, and a whole bunch of nothing for the side of McGill. A very difficult round to say the least, especially on the defensive half. You're just going to have to sit around corners. You're going to have to hope they push into you in some way, shape, or form. Arcolm is hoping for exactly that. As he finds a shot on Takalo, there you go for 1. Will end up getting shot down, but at least you take one of those rifles off the board.
I mean, we see miracles happen, and maybe a miracle happens here too. Seekers go out, flushing out Arthur's position, and the Trailblazer even catches him off guard. You only had 7 bullets, but you couldn't even get off 1. Glow finds Arthur's life around the double doors here, and Vinci is annihilated as well. 4v2, and with 3 players detained, it's a whole different story. The defenders have said, hey, this is our opportunity, but you can't follow up. Glow finds a glowing kill on Topaz, and A10 knives out. Nothing lands, but the blind holds them steady in the back lines, and Stu will happily polish off the game, effectively pushing McGill out as SFU are at 3-0.
Yeah, SFU, they're able to find themselves another victory, and they're looking poised to claim a title here in our CIE. Of course, great stuff coming through from all of these members. Glow really showing up and having a great performance for themselves as well. I think that's a major factor into their success, but I want to give a lot of credit towards McGill. Arcolm and Arthur, they had the 2 highest first bloods there, the 2 duelists. 9 first bloods between the 2 of them for the side of McGill. It's just the strategies didn't end up working out in favor of them. You know, they had great openers to the round, but SFU were always able to just rear back and find themselves a nice little advantage for themselves. And SFU, they're a great team. They're a formidable foe. McGill gave them a little bit of a stress test in the early game there, but nonetheless, as time went on, it was just a little bit extra from the side of SFU that pushed them across the line.
It was very well done as well. It was just enough to keep moving forward. And honestly, McGill can play spoilers. We'll see him in our next matchup as well. So we are not going too far away. Of course, 3 rounds done. 2 to be played out. McGill and LEA up next. Don't go anywhere.
And welcome back, everyone, to the Canadian Intercollegiate Exposition here. My name is Rare Adam. Alongside me is Orbital. We switched roles a little bit here. I'm doing the intros this time around. Mom said it was my turn with the intro, so I'm going to do them for the last couple of games here. But nonetheless, we've got ourselves our fourth match of the night here. And this one is a little bit bittersweet for these two teams because it is McGill versus Langara. Both of these teams, unfortunately, are eliminated from making it to Saturday's finals. But nonetheless, they're here to have a good time. And that is what it's all about, to showcase Canadian intercollegiate talents and expositions. Yeah, that's what it's called. CIE. Yeah, that's what it stands for. They're going to show off their expositions here, or their executes potentially, on Lotus once again. And of course, McGill, they really did give SFU a little bit of a run for their money off the rip in that last map on Pearl. Langara were also quite strong against the UBC Blue, but unfortunately fell a little bit short. And now we just need to see how they transition this, of course, back on Lotus, where Langara did have a rather good time last time around.
Yes, they did, and happily, I might add as well. I mean, we got to go back to this map. I love it. I love the fact that we are not going to the stock standards, so I'm very, very happy that we're getting a nice taste of maps, right? Now, of course, the main thing is the agents. I'm very, very interested to see how things play out here, as well as how aggressive teams you want to be. Of course, we do get to see the lock-ins of those jets. This is, again, per the meta. Just go ahead, grab that duelist, get it rolling. I think we are going to see just straight up mirror matchups, but no. Ooh. So far, it's being hovered a little bit differently. We can see the Rays and the Jet double comp up just like before. But if that Neon gets locked in for Arcolm, that would be a big shift.
Yeah, it would be quite a shift as well, in the sense that Neon is a lot of times the sole duelist that people will pick on this map and sort of just build a comp around Neon, where she's meant to go fast, she's meant to get in there. She's a little bit easier to just get in to an execute or something, as opposed to the Rays where you need to line up your satchel. Sometimes you just get body blocked by your teammates. You know, it happens. Nonetheless, they seem to be pivoting away from that. Arcolm is going to be potentially opting for the Sky instead, and Topaz on this Rays. Everyone's just sort of switching around. We should know from having casted League never to bite at the hovers, and it seems as if these will finally be locked in, as Topaz last time around playing that Sky will be pivoting over to that Jet, or that Rays, sorry, oh my goodness. Instead, Arthur is going to be switching onto the Jet as opposed to Arcolm from last time around. So everyone's sort of pivoting their agents around, just sort of maneuvering themselves around. A10 going to be switching to Omen, and Vinci Maxi going to be on the Killjoy instead. So just sort of switching up the roles. Might be seeing a little bit of a different look as well for the side of Langara. Kev and Crimes have switched agents themselves from last time we saw them.
Yes, they have. Just a little bit of a taste, you know, hey, you know, let's see if you can do better this time around. There are so many teams, and it's so much fun to talk about, especially in the collegiate scene, where teams, they don't have set players like, say, the pros do, right? Or set agents, I should say. You know, there are in pro play, you know, you have that specific player, that one that's always going to play the duelist, always the sentinel, or anything like that. But in collegiate, there have been so many teams that you talk to, and they're just like, yeah, I was kind of feeling this today, right? I was feeling playing a Jet. Maybe I could do better, because so many of these players do play different things than they do in, say, solo queues. So I love the fact that teams are always willing to kind of change up whatever feels best at the current time. And the fact that we also have a straight up mirror matchup, the first one that we're going to see here today, it's so much fun to me, as we are also going to get the first run-in.
Yeah, Arthur going to land a nice little shot to the knee. It is taken down to 10 HP, though. Has to get out. Nice little rhyming scheme there, but not so nice for Arthur, as he's forced all the way back. Flood did take a little bit of damage on the way in as well. Seems as if the plan is going to land on that B site as well. Arcolm peeking around that corner, has that ghost. Only one flash, though. Means that they won't have as much utility as I think they're expecting. Kev going to be able to find one, but Topaz is going to find two in reply. Arcolm finds a pair for himself as well, and it is all down to Lunar, holding it down. Only with that classic as well means they're not going to have quite as much utility as they want. Arthur going to fall down as well. A second kill picked up. Invincimax, though, will come through and clear out that round. McGill, great retake. It's going to be a round on the board for them.
You know what? Again, these two teams, every single game that we've seen here today, teams have been going toe to toe with each other in those pistols. It has been never ending in terms of how aggressive they want to be. I love the fact that, again, it's not those flawless pistol rounds. It's just straight up only one person left alive. You had a very, very nice match. We can see here, even with the plant, they're not willing to actually sacrifice a whole lot of econ. They're not willing to go ahead and, well, I take that back. Actually, they are investing here. So SMG's out the butt. Lunar, of course, going to try and save up. Nope. Oh, also going with the SMG. So a lot of stingers. And then, of course, a little bit heavier in the Spectre. But I'm going to try and run it as hard as I can up the C side, and it's a much closer range. So Arthur backing away as quickly as possible.
Yeah, Arthur with a little bit of a gritty swing there. Knew that there was a flash coming in, so it was just facing the opposite way. Actually, nice little martial shot's gonna go through the dog and land through, but Arthur will get shut down by the paint shells. Maneko gonna land that one. Archolm is still here, but very low on health means it's very likely a plant goes down once again. It is on the retake for McGill, but they've done quite good in terms of their retakes each and every time we see it happen. And this time, even numbers, 4v4, means they have a chance.
Well, of course, the retake is always going to be the big question. As Crime says, nah, you don't get to do crimes here. We control it all, and that's going to be a satchel of all things. Maneko says, hey, let's have some fun here. Let's see how many unique ways I can kill. Flawed finishes off with a body shot, and A10 falls for a round to go the other way. So 1-1 start instead of 2-0.
Yeah, and Maneko got kills with the paint shells as well as the satchel. Didn't get any with the gun. Who needs the gun? You're an Overwatch character. You kill with your abilities now. That's exactly how it's going, apparently. Nonetheless, a nice little turnaround means that the econ's going to be in flux, we'll say. I was going to say another word that I'm not allowed to say on stream. It will be in flux for another round as we see who will come out on top. Of course, Lunar going to be picking up that Vandal. Has been the benefactor of 4 out of these kills, as well as Langara once again doing a good job on the rip here. Basically not letting those last 2 losses get in their way as Flood and Lunar move forward on to this site. The sheriff shots from Archolm not quite going to land. Everyone is falling to pieces as it is left down to Vinci Maxi to have a Maxi round here, if possible. Granted, against 5, not going to be the easiest of situations.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's so easy. You got 6 bullets. That's 1 more than you really need, right? Just hit the heads. That's all. It's so easy. I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't even need a headshot on Maneko.
Yeah, you don't.
Body shot.
It's just, yeah, that's all you have to do.
Granted, you have to body shot. Yeah, flawless round in favor of Langara there as they find their second on the board. And now, finally, we're going to get some heavier hitting weapons coming through from the side of McGill. Once again, we've seen that Langara are able to sort of match pace with these teams as well, and it seems as if they were just facing a rather stiff opposition in terms of their first couple of opponents. They did face UBC. They faced... Oh my goodness. They faced Keanu as well. They have not faced SFU yet. But nonetheless, it's been a little bit of a tough start for the side of Langara, and I think they really needed to find that UBC win to have a chance at moving on. But nonetheless, as they move forward here into McGill's defense, it is multiple members here on this A site where action is sure to brew, and never mind they're going to be.
Subversion of expectations once again. You tried. We tried in the agent select, and now we tried as they rotate around. But honestly, I like the call. You go ahead and rotate, keep everyone on their toes, and you have force out. They rotate, and then you catch the rotators. A10 dropped as quickly as they stand, and Flawed just causing some chaos. Topaz dancing in, catches everyone in the back, and is able to get one still with their life. 12 HP. That's more than you can really ask for. Unfortunately, your own blind comes around the corner, and the rest of the team is there. Flawed drops another as Vinci Maxi and Archolm happily steal away. Super Kev, look for Archolm, who is sitting on a sliver. Headshots all the way through, but no, that's a drop, and that's all the information you need. Lunar saying, yep, we're good. You don't even really have to force anything. It's GG for this round, as that is now 3 the way of Langara.
Yeah, they'll even pick up a gun on the way out as well. So Super Kev should have enough time after the spike goes down to pick up one of these, right? Oh! That's unfortunate. Sag. Nonetheless, good round once again from Langara to continue to push forward their advantages. Yes, they're still bonusing on some of these weapons. They might be able to upgrade them. On the opposite side, Topaz has a Bucky. I love that gun. Yes. It's so bad, it's good.
Nah. Don't disrespect the Bucky like that. Come on, in the right hands, it's a monster.
True.
I say that. Like, you gotta be Keanu Reeves, man. you gotta be a god right there if you want to make it look good.
Yeah, basically, his Flood. Archolm has no chance. It's just caught napping, caught looking the wrong way. Flood is just so quick in there. Topaz trying to move forward, trying to take these close angles with the Bucky, and that's about the best that you could ask for. Fires a shot, playing a little bit of a ring around the rosy on that door. Good movement coming through from Topaz.
Because you get a shot off, and the other just goes, what? Did something hit me? What just happened? Swat everywhere.
The Bucky does like 20 damage from that range. I remember back in the day, the Bucky would one-shot people from any range because of how strong it was. It was the best mid-range weapon in the game.
Oh, yeah.
Flood gonna take down an Vinci Maxi there. You might have wanted a Bucky in that situation, actually, just so that you can, get your one shot there. Arthur, though, coming around the side, will find the headshot onto Flood, but that spike is already placed down, and Topaz is gonna have to get... Topaz is... Oh, A10 is gonna have to get crafty with this one as they find my Neko. Now a 2v3. Granted, Arthur is very far away from this one. It might just be the call to save as well, considering they have the Vandal in hand.
Yeah, they were able to pick up, and they grabbed a second one, I think. So they actually grabbed two, which is nice. I do want to... Yes, they did. And again, all they had was that Bucky in hand. So I think they can call that a win. Yes, it's difficult because now you're down 4-1, but you go ahead and save up a little bit more. Not the worst thing in the world. But again, for Langara, they're happy about it, right? This is a great start once again, a very nice, strong lead. And they have 4 ults to counteract the 2 on the other side. So this is the round that we do expect a little bit of fire to come out of Langara once again. They look to be a lot more, I want to say, in control and dominating. We do not want to see them drop this hold ever. We want to see them keep moving forward constantly, over and over again. And I do expect them to go a little bit smoother, or a little bit slower. They have in the past gone a little bit slower when they know the guns are on the table, and this is one of those ways, right? Just hard spray through the wall, see if you can get any extra damage, and then follow through with some chases afterwards.
Yeah, these own strats that have been sort of popularized by Fnatic are so strong on this map as well. Lunar able to find a pick right off the rip here. This is where Langara have found a lot of their agency. Lunar has been a massive game changer for Langara thus far. Able to find one, just opening it right up. And Vinci Maxi around the side might be aware that there's an alarm bot watching that flank, but A10 in the corner able to find one. Topaz finds 2. Getting kills with all sorts of util once again, and Lunar is the last one left standing. A10 gonna shut it down as McGill strike back. They find a second round on the board, and they're able to hold multiple weapons in hand.
The fact that they even lost one at the start just goes to show their gun prowess. Very, very well done. Very nice hold overall. Now you got to go ahead and look ahead ever further. Keeping eyes on this, that is a stalwart stop on A, and I don't expect Langara to ever chance on that site for at least the next 2 or 3. Take your chances at C or B. Maybe do a roundabout from C to B. But I don't expect them to try and force A once again. You can already see the lineup, right? Ooh. Very, very deep lineup. And Vinci Maxi saying, all right, I found him. This is what I expected, right? You lose A, cool. Go back to C.
Yeah, I think that's the game plan here. I'm trying to overload this Killjoy as well. The lockdown will be invested immediately in Vinci Maxi. Forced all the way back. Gonna regroup up here with Arthur. Crimes is on a little bit of a late lurk up B as well, as the site is fully cleared out. Actually, one got detained. I'm not sure if they know exactly where that is, but the operator is here from Arthur. Will he be able to find the shot? Has to turn away. Almost able to land that shot. And Echo, oh my goodness, with the rocket as well, taking him down to 15 HP, and now might just be a call to save once again. That operator has 15 HP. A10 has 44. Seems as if they're going to play for exits as Langara. As quickly as the round started, it's basically done. They're going to get themselves a 5th round.
Whenever Langara is in a comfortable position, you can definitely see their play come out, right? You can almost see the confidence and comfort that comes from them having a lead. And I find that very interesting as well. We don't get to talk about it too often because, again, it's all about those numbers, all about the regular meta strategies and everything. But I mean, anyone that's played any of these FPS games knows that your mental plays such a key part in this, and I think Langara are a team that exemplify that, right? When they're in the lead, they look more comfortable, they're more willing to be aggressive, and of course on the attack that also comes out in a much more emphatic style because you are dictating the pace of where you want to go. But Langara so far, when they're in the lead, they are willing to go ham. It doesn't matter if they lose a member or not, they're more than willing to just go ham, and I love it. What I want to see, though, is if McGill on the other side fight their hearts out and are able to tie it back up, it would be very interesting to actually watch if Longara decide to almost shut down in that mental, because I want to see him just stay aggressive. I just want to see him be absolute menaces to society.
Yeah, it looked like Topaz was right in the crosshair there for that one. But instead it's Arthur who strikes first on the Super Kevo. Taken off of the board, but look at how far Flood has been able to develop this push, going all the way around. Arcolm, this is so... Oh my goodness, Flood doesn't go for it. And now just behind enemy lines, might be looking right into the pit. Opts not to do so, sees the gun barrel of Topaz, and now the jig is up. Flood is just going to find two on the back end of this one, and Arcolm is now all of a sudden in a very stressful position of their own. Lunar trying to hold this down against A10. Arcolm able to reply onto Mineko. Now it's a 3v3. Arcolm going to come around that side. Simvinci Maxi doing that one, and it's 2v2 onto site now as the lockdown invested by the side of McGill.
Of course, it's a very, very quick tap as Crime says, I found it, but on the opposite side of the door, Flawed says, thank you very much. Crime solves it up. It's a quick tap to 6, so this is going to be Longara keeping a steady hold on this attacking side. Of course, the other side of it, I think so far, we've seen teams hit 6, and then for some reason, the other team will always come back with a vengeance of some sort, and I don't understand why, but they do. So 6 rounds, even point being broken. But let's see what more can be done. I want to see Longara come out with another extensive lead, and I want to see him do it strong. Of course, given the opportunity, they are currently sitting with a gun advantage. You can see on the other side, this is McGill going, yeah, we can't really do too much. So Sheriff's 4 at least. I'm surprised they're not actually rushing. I would actually enjoy just a 4 Sheriff rush and just see what happens. I think it would be hilarious, but I digress. Not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it's A10 pushing up through C. All these sound cues are now going to be given over to the side of McGill as they continue to push forward, and the site seems to be secured in their favor. Crime's going to find one. Arthur able to reply on the opposite side. It is a 4v3 now in favor of Longara.
I mean, that's going to be more than enough. As you see the gun barrel, so A10 swings the other way and looks and gets 2. What a snap call you see. That is a micro skill that you love. And with this ridiculous machine gun, it's just going to waltz their way onto site and look to try and get a defuse. But the shell goes up, spits on the other side. But Mineko was ready. Beautiful shot through the smoke. Had that angle held. Arthur able to push it to a 1v1. Quick tap. You see the barrel and you dash into it. Flawed. Gets the final shot and keeps it at 7. That looks so scary. Honestly, though, for Sheriffs only on that round, McGill can be very proud.
Yeah, honestly, it was a really good round from them. They're able to, do a little bit of a hit to the economy. Yes, it doesn't really matter in the end, as they're able to continue to hold all of these credits in their favor. But nonetheless, still a strong round coming through from McGill. Arthur's going to have that operator back in hand. But you just need to see them get rounds on the board. Yes, it's close. Yes, it's good efforts from them, but the better effort would have been just getting a round win for themselves. That's what's really important, and they just haven't been able to do so. Granted, Arthur peeking up through B, that is an interesting angle to hold, and is not going to hold that in the end. Just going to back off of this one.
I hear the gun go burr. I say, no thanks. I go the other way. I hear death, and I don't want anything to do with it, which I think is appropriate. For right now, though, it's still the quiet setup. This Trailblazer, once again, sent out, just lurking into B. Can they find anything? No, it is not. So instead, the paint shells force Arthur back. And it'll be, again, this is now the second time in a row that they've held it, but Lunar through the door finds a Vinci Maxi. And that'll open up Seaside as well. Flawed finds Topaz. And just like that, the shell of McGill falls apart as the plant comes through.
Oh, and Arcolm caught looking the wrong way. Flood finds another one. It's a 2v4. Lunar's just going to be able to find another pick onto A10. It is simply that operator once again in Arthur's hands, where he's forced to save it. And unfortunately, this op just hasn't been able to find the pop that you're normally expecting. Arthur has been in the right places at the right times. It's just about landing the shots, and the util that comes down as well just makes it so challenging for Arthur to be able to hold any angles. The major thing there, the paint shells just flush him right out, force him into a really odd situation, and now Behind him, Flood is caught looking the wrong way for the time being. There might be an op shot to come through. No time left. But nonetheless, McGill, they're just struggling to find wins. And that's what matters at this point, Orbital, is that they just got to put a number up on the board.
Mm-hmm. They just need something more than 2. And this is going to be, again, one of the most extensive leads that we've seen. Last time, I think the most that we saw in the entire game was actually 6. We are already getting very, very close to that one. So we already tied it up. Shell is ready, though. Topaz saying, all right, let's make it a bang. Let's go ahead and rush. You can see their choice has been made. And they find it. Hey, that's a Bucky number 1, number 2. Topaz calls him out, but Maneko is ready with the chance back. Aircomb was able to find 1 before, but Maneko almost gets a follow through. It's 3 and then a 4th behind, and Arthur is the last one alive. Dangerous play here along this east side. Snapshot doesn't find anything. Operator can't find the kill. And because of that, you're all left down to 1. My gosh, was that deathly.
Yeah, and it was really close from Arthur as well, landing that shot. If he finds one onto Maneko there, I'm pretty sure that it makes it so much more difficult for Kevo to get back onto site, get into any sort of position. And now, later on the rotate as Arthur, he's going to have to try and retake with this op, which is always such a challenge. Has that shorty in the back pocket as well, but Maneko's going to hear all these footsteps as well, unless Arthur's able to peek it slowly. Looking through Waterfall, that's a great pick from Arthur, who's now forced to reposition. Maneko.
I mean, I wouldn't even call that a force.
Space.
Yeah, I wouldn't even call that a force. I mean, that's a snapshot, and you're ready. You just want to dance in the mind of Maneko. That's easy, right? You've now created a situation where Maneko does not know where you're going to come from, and giving yourself a slight leg up instead of what would have been like a 65-35 situation where, hey, at least Maneko is able to kind of tell. There's now 2 other angles that you have to cover. So on that side, though, Maneko finds it, and that's a 4K. Maneko says, thank you very, very much. 9 to the side of Langara. Once again, it was a great attempt coming out.
Yeah, and it's been big performances coming through from the 2 duelists on the side of Langara. They've been so good at finding entries, at finding their way through. Flood now has that operator in hand. They're going to pass over to Lunar. Everyone's taking their turn holding it, just testing it out, seeing how it fires. But Langara have just been able to explode out to a huge lead here. And McGill, they haven't found the answers yet. And it's challenging because we know this is an attack-sided map. It's not a 10-2 attack-sided map. It is not this skewed in that favor. So now we have to ask the question, what are McGill going to do to answer the beck and call once we get into the second half? Will they have what it takes to get themselves back in the driver's seat here, or is Langara just going to sweep this one down in our swiftest game yet? Yet to be determined, of course, in Vinci Maxi trying to hold down this site, but once again, it's the angle onto the B site, and Archolm shuts it down.
Oh my gosh. Crimes did an oopsie doodle, and Lunar said, nah, that's okay, I got you back up. And Vinci Maxi able to recuperate Lunar's HP. But the danger is still very much alive as the lockdown was just a bait and a half as Super Kev gets the plant down. It is now retake with the side of McGill as they're nowhere close to the site and gives plenty of time the side of Langara to spread out in a very deep defense.
Yeah, and Flood's just coming through on a flank angle. Super Kevin with the Odin, not going to be able to shut it down as in Vinci Maxi just able to swing that through. Rocket is available. Flood going to shut down Archolm on the opposite side. Topaz still looking, but Maneko coming over the top. Showstopper ran out. Flood still there to answer though, and now has the knives out. Gonna be going up in the sky. It's the right click. A 4K for Flood and double digits on the board for Langara. As even though they may be eliminated, they're looking to go out with a bang, and that's exactly what they've been doing. 20 spot on the board for Flood in the first half here. 10-2 in favor of Langara Esports Association.
Oh, Flood said, listen, if we're out, I'm making it look pretty. As you said, going out with a bang and a half, the highlight reel is rolling. And not just that, to be able to keep your opponent to single-digit kills is something to be said, right? That is just very, very powerful in its own right. And honestly, McGill, they're trying. They are absolutely trying, but this could be devastation. Taking a look here, pistol is up. If it is won, it gives a very strong reason, or a very strong chance for the side of Langara to actually go to match point off of the single round. So a lot to think about here as Arthur takes a couple snapshots, can't find anything, and instead clipped it back at 54 HP and now finished by Maneko.
Yeah, it just seemed as if Arthur just had to take a split second too long to think about what was going on, sort of process everything, ends up getting punished for it. Flood is already pushed all the way up C. Look at this, they're just forcing them into B almost. Crime's going to give that space up. This plant's going to go down, but now you're playing the map in inverse here. They're actually not going to plant. They're going to rotate over to C, so trying to sort of pull the defense around here. They should be successful in doing though, so Lunar gets a couple of shots down. Lunar gets Topaz.
Oh, and damages so many more. That means Lunar can just go ham. 3K for the KJ. And looking for a bit more. Flawed makes it a flawless. And that's going to be the pistol. 5 left alive. Not a single dime to the pockets of McGill.
Wow. Just wow. I mean, Lunar's able to hold the line with a classic and all that util. It's incredible stuff coming through from Langara once again. And I think at this point, if you're McGill, you have to force. You have to force at this point. Arthur has the right idea. You can't be sitting here expecting to just give up this round and win 10 in a row to get yourself back to 12-12. Nonetheless, we'll have to see what they can cook up for themselves. Arthur very deep in here already, but getting overwhelmed. Crimes, Maneko, they're all linking up for more kills, and it's 3 McGill members already down. I don't even know if forcing would have helped out in that situation. They know exactly where the rest of the members are as well. And look at where Flood is going.
I mean, at this point, you're just hunting for more kills. You're just like, can I get 25? Can I get a 25? Well, 25 and a half. Look at him just run. They're like, nah, we ain't standing there. Lunar says, hey, thanks. You just chased right into my body. Flawed lands a 23rd, I believe. That's going to be ever closer to a dominating round win. 22. I'm so sorry. Still a ridiculous number. Last round potential here for Langara to come out looking a little bit better than when they entered. And for the other side, for McGill, they're going to try and do the same. It is an uphill battle. They need 10 in a row to make it happen.
They're going to need 10 in a row, and they need to make sure that they're keeping the money in good shape. You can't have scrappy wins when you're this far behind in the economy. Langara are perfectly fine if they lose this round. They're perfectly fine if they lose like the next like 4 or 5 rounds. It reminds me of Fnatic going up 12-0 against Paper Rex and then just giving over like 7 rounds. And they're like, ah, no biggie. And Vinchamax gonna find one, but gets traded out. Super Kivo did it with the Ghost as well. Lunar just running right through. Arcom gonna be able to answer it. And the numbers advantage still somehow in Langara's favor. It's a 3v2 for them. And once again, they'll flip the map on its head. They'll turn it around. McGill just need to make some decisions here. They got to choose which site they're looking for. Make sure they plan quick. They got to put some pressure on the side of Langara.
I mean, at this point, they're just like, I mean, this is about as much pressure as we can have. We don't want them to come around the corner as we're trying to plant, please. Oh, a couple shots go out. Sends a blind out, and honestly, this is working in Langara's favor. More time tick down. There's the final call. That goes down on B, and look at all 3 currently riding their way around the doors. Super Kev ready to go with the blinds themselves. Are they going to find it? They turn the corner. Everyone hiding around corners, so this is appropriate for McGill. But can they find it? Smoke goes down, and all angles held as Flawed finds one, and Flawed finds the second. Beautiful job as it's GG towards the side of Langara.
Langara just able to get a really big number up on the board early and use that momentum to push them across the line. A fantastic finish for the side of Langara Esports Association. While they may not be able to qualify for finals on a Saturday, at the very least they can finish this one, or finish their games on stream at least with their heads held high. A very strong performance from them overall as they continue to be quite impressive, all things considered. Despite their loss to UBC Blue earlier, they were looking quite good nonetheless.
Yeah, and I think, again, at the end of the day, all the teams here have given us such a great show, right? Against some of the best that Canada has to offer, right? You talked about it back in CVAL. There are so many different teams that were able to rise to those ranks, and to be able to push anyone to those extents is impressive. all the way through. So even though it's 13-2, you just faced up against a very strong team that was having a great time. Again, one game in these group stages, it feels rough and is not an indicator of how, I would say the skill comes about. Yes, everyone is very skilled, but we like to see those best of threes, best of fives. But for right now, it was a great game all the way through.
Yeah, and of course, our final matchup of the night here, coming up in a couple of minutes here, is going to be UBC Blue versus Keanu Huskies. And this could be our decider to see who ends up making it to finals. It really depends on how the other game ends up. I believe they're still playing at this point in time. If we're looking over at it, it is 7-1 in favor of SFU Flamingo. So we might be waiting a little while for that one, but nonetheless, if SFU were to beat UBC, it would be both of those teams who have lost to SFU each who will have to go up against each other. So we might be in for potentially the most exciting final game of the night here. But of course, we do have ourselves a little bit more of an extended break while we wait for that game to get set up. Nonetheless, when we're back, we will be here with game number 5 to decide who goes to finals. We'll be right back. And welcome back, everyone, to CIE Valorant Game 5. We are here in our final game of the evening. Random and Orbital once again coming at you. This will be UBC Blue and Keanu Huskies. It's been a while since we've seen Keanu, but since we last saw them, they have won every single one of their games. UBC have won every single one of their games except for their last one against SFU. These teams both at 2-1. The winner of this moves on to finals against SFU Flamingo. Orbital, break us down exactly what to expect out of this one, because both of these teams, we've seen great things out of them.
Yes, we have. We've seen both teams really kick things off. I mean, Luffy and Ambot were two that I very much enjoyed watching their play throughout. Both of them had great control, and they also were able to give us a very, very large taste of what is to come. Savo as well, I think, had a little bit of fun, I should say. And then on the flip side, you're talking about Suzuki, Blue, and Rimaldi, CNM, or Cinnamon, as I like to refer to. Every single player stepped up, and they're all fairly aggressive, I would say. These are not players that like to sit around, wait for an opportunity. We rarely see them play slow either. So they're very much up to the task of playing with aggression and playing pretty much off the rip. So I'm very, very excited to see what they can do here on Ascent.
Yeah, especially since we are going to Ascent the first time that we've seen this map today. A little bit more of a standard take as well. I don't mind seeing Ascent if it's in small doses. I think that's the main thing. We've seen Ascent so often that, it can get a little bit stale. But with both of these teams being mirrored comps as well, it all comes down to execution and how you can play this out. And immediately we get into round number 1. The God Dart going down mid there. Day will shoot it down. Very little information given over. There are 3 members walking up Cat here. Day has to be incredibly careful. 22 HP is going to be forced to back all the way out as the stack from Keanu just slowly marches down Cat.
Run as fast as you can. Don't get caught. You're not the gingerbread man. Blue looking on the edge here as well. And this is very, very safe as well. And Suzuki finding a pick down that long alley in A from Wine is a beautiful shot. Now, of course, the chase into B, this is going to be the damaging part. You can see in the back of Boathouse Rimaldi waiting on this back end saying, hey, this is our chance. Alarm bot is triggered, but when you're hiding for as long as you can't find a single kill, so it is going to be overrun as Senja, I believe a newcomer to this match, finds a great hit shot.
Yeah, able to find that shot. Now you can see sort of sliding around, trying to maneuver their way back in is UBC Blue. They can't really find the angles necessary to get anything. Day has 22 HP as well, not really in the best of spots. Well, you do have a little bit of damage taken by Senja there. You still have to be careful. Look at that swing. 4 members swinging onto Blue. Savo still has a significant amount of health as well. Everyone's going to be swinging all at once. Day finds one. Savo able to find the trade. Suzuki finds Luffy. And now you've got a 1v2. The spike is taking away as well. You don't have time to work with Bondo. Gonna shut it down. That's the first one on the board for Keanu.
It's a pretty nice setup as well. They're happy about that current win, and the fact that you also get the plant econ means that you can buy up pretty heavily. You can see it there. Ambot, yes, you didn't get a kill, but the Bulldog should help out. Follow behind as Savo is gonna save in. But the rest of the team should be pretty happy about that one. For right now, on the other side, it is going to be Suzuki and the rest of the squad looking for something. Only 2 sheriffs on the board, so I expect them to understand that they are taking a risk. And it's not going to be the 5-player stack up on either side. It is a 3-2. But Suzuki playing very close and able to see it. That's the right click that you want. Get the gun, but now you're sprayed down, and you have not a single chance.
Yeah, you can't even see where you're getting sprayed from because there's no bullet traces coming behind those Spectres. Blue now forced all the way out. I believe it was tagged with a recon bolt as well, so they'll know where that Omen has evacuated to. Nonetheless, it's a plant coming down. 4v4 for the side of Keanu. They have that gun advantage as well. What is UBC going to be able to cook up here? Day seems to be trying to look for a peek, but Ambot is there to answer. 3rd kill of the round for Ambot, looking for even more. Senja going to be able to clear that one out. It's a full house for Senja and Ambot there. And wow, great start for Keanu as well. This is something that we saw come through from them against SFU as well, and I want to see if they can continue to roll it forward because UBC, just coming off of a loss to SFU as well, they might be feeling a little bit more of the pressure knowing that winner of this one moves on to face SFU once again, but it's the difference between Keanu losing in their first match as opposed to UBC losing in their last match.
It's the momentum shift, the flow, that mental game that a lot of teams have to play out. And, you know, we touched on it earlier as well, that the player mentalities can really dictate whether or not a game goes your way. And this is one of those. You do have to bounce back, say, hey, it's a whole new game. And so far, again, these are just the early rounds. We know how the first 3 rounds tend to kick out. And, you know, we shouldn't put too much stock in it, but we can definitely tell they're playing a little bit differently. So this is a Q hiding it in the smoke. That's going to be a pop flash, not really finding any information. And because of that, you're allowed to sit. Still Blue, though, finds Sabo, who dashed very far in the sight. And unfortunately, the rest of the team could not follow, and that means that they have to skedaddle. Whether to B or just catwalk will be the question.
And sometimes you are that info, you're sort of that jet dart in a way, where you just sort of dart in as the person trying to find anyone possible. They sees a couple of members just peeking their utils out through mid, so knows that they have crossed there. Gonna be able to land that great shot onto Luffy as well. Who's gonna peek next? It's gonna be Ambot, who's able to shut it down. Now able to potentially upgrade that gun as well. You can see 4v3 now in favor of UBC as they continue to try and find angles for themselves. They don't have the onus to push forward or anything. It is just Ambot trying to get a little bit crazy with it. Blue, of course, at half HP, also needs to be careful that they don't get shut down themselves.
Bondo looking on their edge. That's a shoulder scene, and Bondo did not push, but this time you do. Second peek finds it. You're still left alive. Suzy Q was able to find that one and actually find Sue on the back end. So it's a 1v1. Good suppression on the back end gives a lot of information, but here's the call. Ambot gonna have to break this door. And unfortunately, you don't really have a choice. Around the corner you go. Suzy Q looking, quick tap, but no information, and because of the walk, it works.
Time expired though.
Easy win.
Yeah, the timer ran out though, so UBC end up getting around. It still goes in their favor, but you know, you still take those. At the end of the day, you still sort of take those if you're the side of Keanu. You get all those guns off the board. You're still going to be able to buy up. I mean, Ambot has so many credits here. Could potentially even buy for Savu here if they wanted to keep it 100% even throughout the board. But now it's as if UBC didn't win a round. They get it on the board, but their economy does not speak as such as they're forced onto a save.
It's a mental win that they had in the previous round. It's not the technical win, but this one should be a technical win. Savo says, we know that we gave you that round. It was really just on us. But CNM saying, hey, I have a chance. Savo said, nope. Not even a moment. 3v4 here as Blue tried to teleport away. Could not have it happen. And the short jump turns into a short death as Luffy falls or gabs that kill on CNM. And Ambot is the last one alive here in Market. No.
Yeah, it's just for Meowdy to try and clear things out. There's the Keanu just sort of lowering the hammer there. Meowdy trying to get some jails through, but Sabo gonna pick up a 3K for themselves. Great rounds coming through from the side of Keanu. As you can tell that they've taken what they've learned against SFU, the loss to SFU, they've translated that into some pretty significant wins over the rest of the field. They took down McGill 13-2. They took down Langara 13-5. They've been, outside of SFU, the most dominant team thus far. SFU have had some struggles throughout their wins as well. Keanu have arguably looked better in their wins than SFU have. It's just the fact that SFU have won every single one of their games.
It's just they complete the mission at the end of the day. It's not pretty, but they do. On the other side, Keanu had the playbook. They just need to finish things out. It looks pretty all up towards that finish, so I think that's something to be talked about, especially these two teams, as you were saying. If they do end up going into the finals together, that'll be really, really fun to see how they're able to manage over the next day and a half, right? To see if adjustments are made, if they're able to kind of get their bearings under control. For right now, though, Blue is able to find Bondo, who did go into that no command, and that it's now opening in their own way. That's going to be 2 or 145. Grimaldi still firing away. Sabo able to put a stop to that rush, and now leading into a couple of headshots on the other field. No one able to revive. It's 3v2.
3v2, and the spike is down right out in the open. It really comes down to what this jet can find from hell. It's a very difficult angle. You can see Savo doesn't want to over peek either. That drone actually not even going to get the spot out. Suzy Q able to turn around that corner, able to shut it down. Great use of that null command to just prevent any util from coming down as UBC pick up a second round on the board, this time significantly cleaner.
It's going to do wonders for the mental. I think they're going to be very, very impressed with themselves as well. You can see here the buyout coming in on the other side might be a little bit tough. Pistol in hand for Savo. You could buy. You could buy and follow up with the rest of the team, but I mean, the main thing is the ults. You don't have to buy up if you had that Blade Storm. That's what you're kind of thinking here. This is going to be a question. Of course, if they lose it here, they are going to still be able to buy up, but it's that mental aspect once again. And you can see Senja looking to lay down a little bit of control over on that B side in case of a push, but it's a quiet start from the defenders saying, hey, we're not going to get caught in those risky spots.
Yeah, and I think an incredible thing about that push as well was just the fact that the blind comes through, CZQ backs all the way off, breaks the door as well. And this is a strat that I haven't seen too much of, but you know, it just prevents the defend or the attacking side from sort of sequestering off the site and all of that. Or Meowdy sort of stuck left on this site alone. Ambot even going to get into the back of boat there. Day needs to be incredibly careful taking that fight down mid. Savo just going to evacuate as well. Keanu just take over this B site and they get the plant down without too much hassle.
We say not too much hassle, but there is a jet on that side looking a little bit rough, and it's actually going to end up in a jet duel. Savo though said 1 HP. That's it. That's all I need. Great deke on today. No flank coming in here, and because of that, the control handed over to this B main side leaves only 2 opportunities: mid market and defender spawn, and that's a danger to behold. They're going to give it a shot. Market is currently deployed. 2 holding out. Now they're going to collapse in. Great Siva. Ambot said, I don't care if you see me. I'm still going to find the kills. It is a flawless round. And a ridiculous one at that.
Yeah, Keanu has just been so good at playing off of each other's peaks, and it's turned out very well in their favor. Ambot there, just finding 2, immediately pulling a 90, finding that 3rd kill onto Ramyadi, who was lurking up. Maybe that tilt factor that we were talking about might be setting in for the side of UBC. It's a little bit of a struggle for them to piece together a buy here. Day going to be popping those knives. Just has to be careful of the KO knives. That's the main thing that I'm concerned about here, especially when you're relying on your knives to do everything. You get scanned out by the KO, you are useless for 8 seconds. You can't do anything. You can't dash. You can't, you know, get busy with it. Granted, that KO knife already used, then now you don't have to worry about it for another 45 seconds. They might be able to make something happen. But as you can see, they're pushing forward onto this site. CNM already able to take down Bondo. That's an upgrade on the weaponry. Ambot will find the plant, but now you just have to be careful you don't get econned in your own right. Senja turns it back around to Urmiati.
Oh, but Day found Senja. Luffy puts a stop to that one. Ambot as well. And Suzuki is spotted out, but still able to find 1. 2v2 with the HP quite low. Suzuki gets sprayed down and miraculously is still alive. There's Ambot though with a headshot on blue and then a follow-up kill on Suzuki. 3 kills for Ambot on this Omen leads to a 5-2 lead.
And Ambot's just having a fantastic time here. 12-2-3 on the Omen. Just playing around that util so well, able to find frags once they secure the site down, and it's been so challenging for anyone on the side of UBC to push their way forward against this Keanu controller. We talked about Luffy off the rip, but this time around, having a little bit of a subdued performance doesn't really have to do as much as I think they were expecting. And Ambot's just been able to vibe out, have an absolutely fantastic run of things thus far. Especially on Ascent, which is sometimes considered a defense-sided map here. You're usually expecting it to be about even. 5-2 is a scoreline that could snowball into something very scary. Granted, Day with this operator has to be careful on those peaks. Nice little flick, not going to land though, as Day is forced to rethink that peak. Ooh.
Gotta look a different way, as Suzuki says, haha, I found you looking another way. That is the challenge that they had. 4 up mid right now as Keanu are looking for a chance, but UBC getting ready to light them up. A little bit of a suppression there. Information gathered, but Ramaldi gonna hide once again in Boathouse, and I mean, that's all you really could ask for. CNM though, launching into this util and trying to back away, but Day is ready to follow up as Bondo tried to chase him, finds another Day, just smattering him down. That's a 3K from Day, sending the daylight through for Ramaldi to pick up the last one.
7 HP living on that is quite impressive as well. Day really coming alive with this operator in hand. And now just needs to continue to snowball that. Needs to continue to find those picks with it, really put the pressure on the map. We've talked about it where it's so difficult to retake with an operator. It's important that you find your kills with the operator before they get that spike down, and that's exactly what happens. They're pushing into you. They're forced to play into your hand, and that is where the operator is most effective. Now we'll see what other angles they approach for. Looking at tiles this time around, and they might have read this out. That drone, though, will be enough to force Day off the ankle.
Day's just going, I don't care what angle it is. I'll find it. That's going to be a shorty to cover. You were still pinged out. So at least they spotted you, and you have to get to the other side, but you didn't see anyone cross, so Sabo not able to find that peak, but enough to push up. Day said, nah, it doesn't matter. That's still mine. Alive and kicking with 37 HP.
Yeah, Day says good night to Sabo there as the dash forward wasn't quite enough. Day gonna find another one there on Taban, though Spike is down as well. Sandra just doesn't want to peek. Wants none of the smoke in that situation. Upshot not quite going to land Blue on a nice little angle here as well. Takes down Ambot. A little bit of a heat check there on to the enemy Omen. Now Senja and Luke have to make something happen. They just needs to try and re-evaluate that angle once again. The dart even going to spot it out. And this time around, they're looking for it. Senja just going to line him up and knock him down as Day removed from the equation. But Ramauti has been left alone here. That's going to be it. CNM finds Luffy. Ramauti finds Senja. It's a little bit of the doppelganger. It's killing each other. And instead, it's another round on the board for UBC as they continue to climb back up. And now Keanu forced back into their pockets. They do have a buy, but it's there might be a couple members saving, or might just be a full buy here and to save next round.
I think that's they are looking at the ladder here. You can already see the shields going up, and if the shields go up, guns come up as well. Maybe cheating on the equipment pieces a bit more on the util, but only time will tell. As Sabo with the knives out said, I don't need a gun, I can go ahead and save there. Luffy sending up on high. Nothing really spotted there, but nose mid is at least somewhat clear. With that information in mind, hey, maybe we can push up this B side. If you do, you're still running into the util, as has been the standard, and they haven't really changed it out at all on UBC's side. So let's go ahead and push. Where is the nanoswarm, though? That's what you're really calling for. That's going to be teleported to the back line. Day finds Senja. What a stop and a half.
Yeah, Suzuki finds Luffy as well. Ramauti just sort of holding down sight as well. Able to find Sabo in the smoke as well. Dave finds another one. And now it is just Bondo, who is not in a good spot, getting shock darted out here. CNM just going to spray. And that's going to be another round on the board. A flawless one at that for the side of UBC Blue. All of a sudden, we talked about how this map wasn't looking so even and how Keanu could potentially put up a little bit of a challenging number up on the board. UBC say, not so fast. We're looking to take that battle here. We're trying to keep these nationals within the province here. They do not want to allow Alberta to have any fun. Nonetheless, Day, with this operator, has found 7 kills for themselves out of their 10. Quite a turnaround considering the beginning of this half, honestly.
I mean, the turnaround is what we want. It's been honestly almost the theme of the entire tournament in the group stage, except for that previous game, or at least outside of game 3. Everyone's been neck and neck, right? It's been that dance of death. Almost, it's just been constant rounds, everyone trading out, and I don't see it stopping anytime soon. Good blind up top, but Sabo said, not a chance in heck. Still gonna find that kill, and now they chase over. This is a grand opportunity for them. Remember, yeah, this is very, very dangerous. So a quick spray could happen, but Blue shows it up. Almost a collab, if you will, and shows up even further. That's a 3K and a half, as Senja is the last one alive.
Yeah, it was a collab, I think. He just kind of fired through, and the headshots just landed on both of them. And now it is just down to Senja, as you mentioned. Great stuff coming through from Blue in Hell. 3K on the board. Senja, absolutely no chance they're going to get to this spike. It's just left in the middle of nowhere. Might just try and find some frags for themselves, but CNM around the corner and will get shut down by Senja. 42 HP on Blue. There's a couple of low health bars, but you've got to really isolate these 1v1s if you want to make it happen. Day with that operator just saying, hey, you know what, you can do what you can here. It's not going to be for much.
Go ahead, take your shots. I mean, we've seen some miracles come out. But I love this. Senja found it. Senja found it. You know what? You're not gonna get much, but come on, take the other weapon. You hear a slow walk, but that's gonna be it. So Blue with the 4K happily takes that one away, and just like that, 4 in a row. What a beauty of a set. All of a sudden, UBC in the lead.
Yeah, I might have cast their curse to Keanu a little bit there. They were talking about how good they were looking, how everything was working in their favor, and now all of a sudden, you look across the board, and Ambot sort of cooled off. They got to that 12-2 scoreline incredibly early, but now it's 4 rounds in a row that have gone the opposite way. Senja started to heat up there for a little bit before they forgot to check one of their corners. Just hasn't been the same Keanu in the last 4 rounds. It feels like Day gonna fire off a blind op shot, but now forced to back all the way off. This is such a difficult angle, though. Mondo didn't even realize that Day was there. Solo pushing forward, everyone getting all over the site now, and that's going to be B site looking incredibly open for Keanu. It seems as if they might be tying this scoreline up just a little bit here. Mowdy trying to hold this one down, able to find one at the very least, but that spike is put down. The Killjoy lockdown is going to be on board as well. They've got to get out of this one. Ramowdy is actually going to get detained off of this as well, so it is just Suzuki to try and hold it down for now. I don't think anyone's peeking here. They don't care if they lose their guns. It's the last round.
We really, really don't. Honestly, why not? Go ahead, pad the KDAs as well as you can. They're both going to swing at the same time. Luffy looking for a lineup and finds one. Other one's still standing. There it is. Luffy. A little bit of a slingshot. 2 headshots to tie things up. It is 6-6. We are a clean slate. 1st to 7.
Yeah, now what happens on this flip side here? Do the strategies change up? Day won't be able to rely as much on the operator here, at least for the first couple of rounds, and it's been night and day when you consider the operator versus not the operator in their hands. 8 of the 11 kills are from that operator. If you wanted to call it a crutch at that, you wouldn't be too wrong in that assumption either. Ambot as well got a lot of those kills in the first 4 or 5 rounds here before sort of cooling off as well. Will Ambot start to pick it up again? Storylines that have to be established here in the second half as we get into it. Sides are swapped here, and with how even these teams have looked, very well could be the tail of the tape here between these two.
I guess the question to ask, do you think we'll go to an OT? And if we do you think it's 2 or just 1?
It's early to call. You got to see how the economic situation works out here. You know, Luffy's going to find Ramowdy, so that's a good start for the side of Keanu. Oh, the cape popped out. Saba was aware. Omen's kit. This is why real heroes don't wear capes.
I knew you were going to say it. How did I know you were going to say it? No capes. No capes. Ambot also looking on the other side said, I saw someone without a cape and I'm still going to get that kill. And then gets a second. You know what? Maybe the capes are okay, depending. Flawless round coming out here for Keanu as Ambot is up to 15.
Yeah, I'm just going to be picking up that Bulldog and still has credits in the inventory afterwards. Ambot's been very, very good at finding these kills on pistol rounds, on bonus rounds, all that stuff. It really comes down to how they can continue to hold it down. Just going for the Phantom, actually. Just says, hey, you know what? I'm feeling good about my aim. Let's go for it. And this is the confidence that you need to see in these pivotal games. This is a game to decide whether you play on Saturday for that prize, for your share of the prize pool, or if you just get a firm handshake.
Everyone wants a piece of the pie, but you gotta work for it here. Give me a chance. Suzuki gonna pick up. No information there as Luffy just hard sprays through. The air is crying out for blood as Senja follows through. Ooh. And that's going to be Ambot ready to go to grab just a few more kills. Gets a second, reloads, ready for the third to walk through the door. But Blue said, nah, I'll give it to someone else. Savo grabs their own, and it's a flawless second round for Keanu as they happily keep all their weapons.
Yeah, flawless on the defense. 2 rounds in a row for them. And this could be a worrying trend. Granted, this is the exact same scenario that played out in the first half where they're able to pick up the pistol, they're able to find the bonus. It is turned back around as expected, and then they're able to convert on their rebuy. But now, do UBC flip the script a little bit more here? Do they go for something a little bit different? And Keanu has all of these members towards mid right now. There's no one watching A main off the rip. If UBC read this out and go for a fast A hit, this could be extremely detrimental. Granted, that scan's going to find multiple members, and now you got to be so careful because Day is already on site, has already found so much real estate here. And now, are you going to find more? You're going to find one at the very least. Blue turns it back around. It's now 3v3.
Brutal entry here. Let's see if they can keep it up. Of course, Blue getting that plan down is going to be happy, but they don't have too much time. Swing to the left, Ambot looking. This is Luffy on the top side. Senja watches as 2 members fall, and Luffy says, "Ah, crap, it's a 1v2. They are decently low, so a couple body shots would take it. I mean, you got the gun to do it too as well. Are you going to search underneath? You have to spot them, and they're going to sack up. Oh, but you're suppressed now. Eyes are open. Knife is out. You're going to dance on top, and you see the legs. You see the legs. Oh, my gosh. Luffy said, thank you very much.
Oh, my goodness. That's why you practice that jump. That's why you have to practice that jump on Identity. They can't see it. It's a one-way through hell, and they grouped up too close. Great stuff coming through from Luffy here. While the scoreline looks nice, it is anything but nice for the side of UBC. They are struggling at this point. That round was in the palm of their hands, and it just slipped out at the last second. All the damage that was taken, Suzy-Q had an incredible turnaround. But now, you're on Stingers. You gotta find a Thrifty at some point, because look at who has the up on the opposite side this time around. Not gonna be so fun when you're going up against an A-Day.
Oh boy. Not just that, Ambot just popping off now, just giving us a show, and even got 4 agents suppressed. Ah, that's crazy. That's so nice to have. You know where everyone is, and you just rush them. There's not a care in the world. As Ambot runs out of ammo and still clips it out for a flawless death. Are you kidding me, Ambot? You gotta stop sometime.
Ambot, more like aimbot. That was incredible coming through there. This Omen is having so much success here. 22 kills for themselves, 10 more than anyone else in this game on either team, and this is great stuff coming through from Keanu. They want to show that they're a team to be trifled with down the road. This is a program that, you know, it's one of the only programs in Canada that has those scholarships. It's a growing program as well. In the same way that St. Clair has sort of burst out onto the scene this year, Keanu want to be the next team to do that. They want to be that next Canadian school to arrive at the forefront of all of this. And this might just be their angle to do so. This Valorant team's looking pretty good. We came into this expecting it to be, you know, SFU, UBC, and whoever else can just sort of fight for the scraps, but Keanu have shown up and defied expectations. As we mentioned, their wins have looked arguably better than SFU's wins. And that is something to be said about this team that is looking to duke it out on Saturday, and what I believe is a best of 5 as well. That will be incredible to see those teams really fight it out for that prize pool. That's what makes it so much more fun.
Yes, and we will confirm if that's a best of 5 or best of 3. We'll keep odds on that for everyone here, because that would be crazy to watch. Every team has only played one, and it's just like, oh man, how many games can we play? How many more can be held on to? Sabo, of course, sitting there with the op, trying to match up against Ambot, but it has been all this Omen. Now on a deep side, very, very far up, just saying, yeah, well, it's easy enough. No worries there. Dance on top as they're right in the face, and Dave makes it work. Sabo drops him as quickly as possible, so clearing out that site, but it's still so dangerous. My gosh, was that such an aggressive dash in. Ambot around the corner says, hey, you can't do that. Not allowed. Looking for another. Ambot is on a freaking streak and a half. Get a third. Come on, do it.
Ambot just finding everyone here, and in reality, it's like, what do I do? I'm just trying to lurk up mid. I'm trying to find my team, and the spike's down on site. This is violations coming through from Ambot. Like, words are starting to elude us. In a job where we're meant to speak well, sometimes you can't. Bondo just gonna clear it out as Remiati able to find Senja at the very least. It's slim pickings left. 11 on the board. Ambot has 25 kills on Omen. You don't see this level of controller play. You just don't see it happen. It's normally the Jets that are popping off. Sometimes you'll get the Sentis popping off as well, because they're always on lurks. They're always sort of ratting around, baiting their entire team. But Ambot's on it. He's on one. He's on one.
The fact that it could possibly only be 2 rounds left, and I can totally foresee Ambot getting up to 30 bomb is ridiculous to me right now. Savo says, well, that's one less that you can grab. Luffy gonna chase out as well, saying we all gotta get out on this, but walks right into a nanoswarm and gets dropped to 50. Senja, though, ready and waiting for Remaldi. And this is Keanu just saying it's all ours at this point. We are in full control. 2 other ults besides the Blade Storm is available. And you can see the hard sprint coming out from UBC. A hard rotate, not exactly of their own volition, but enough to cover as the 2 were taken in B, and now B is open.
That's an interesting map state here. Senja just going to try and hold the fort down. If you're going to put any agent on holding that fort down, the Killjoy is a pretty good option for that. Turret goes off, you pop those swarms, and you buy yourself another 5 seconds, and that's what's important. The rest of the team is now going to move over. Granted, this might be the first time in a while that UBC are able to actually plant the spike and get themselves into a post-plant situation. Day still has those knives out, just needs to try and find that lethal efficiency any way possible.
Plants in the corner is good. Day ready with 5-9, sees that everyone gets a reset, but still gets scooped in the head through the wall. Savo ready to go on the back end as well with the op. Sees the shoulder, can't see through the body because Bondo blocks it out and seals the kill. Blue finds one side of smoke, looking for another, but can't find much more. Bondo with the 3K. And that's going to mean Ambot got nothing. It's still around to the rest of the party, because they're going to be very happy. Well done overall, as they are on the cusp of pushing themselves into the grand finals.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at the buy that's coming the opposite way. It's as much as they can afford. You know, Blue might want to opt for those full shields, but you've got the null command, you've got the from the shadows, you run away from the lockdown. If anything, you can make things interesting if you start to pick up some of these alt orbs. Luffy might be playing for the alt orb on the opposite side of the map, but just has that Odin as well, where you can sit behind a wall, just spray and pray. And I think this strategy is basically UBC saying, hey, listen, you know what, we've tried to play the game properly, let's just pug it out, let's go right down B, let's see what we can make happen. Great blind coming through. Luffy on this short corner, just gonna start praying. And he started firing, and there's 1, there's 2, there's 3 picked up, there's almost a 4th as Ramadi will get shut down. Ambot taken down as well, so at the very least they may be able to pick up Suzy Q. And it's getting spammed out, though will lift up that KO, and now 3v3, you've got the lockdown, but Bondo has the null command as well to reply with. The knives have been popped as well on the opposite side from Savo.
There it is. Lockdown enabled, and only time will tell. They have to get on site, but that feels so bad. Oh, that feels so bad. That's gonna be a shot though. Trades out. Remaldi looking for an ace if he can. 0 detainees means Blue is all alone. No chance for Remaldi, as this is gonna be a dangerous one. Blue gets cut off. You have to make your way in, but Savo is ready. Sees the body, takes a shot, catches him in the shoulder through the wall, and Bondo finishes it up. It is GG as Keanu placed themselves squarely in the finals.
Yeah, and they did it in dominant fashion in a lot of ways. That half was 6-6, and we thought, hey, it's going to be first to 7, as you mentioned. Keanu just won 7 in a row. Why not? Why don't you? But fantastic performance coming through. 351 ACS on that Omen to close things out. 25 and 10. 11 more kills than anyone else in that game. And I mean, we were talking about Day and the Operator, how, you know, they were sort of using it as a crutch in a sense. And I don't know. It just once you get off the op, once you go on the opposite side of the map, Day just was absolutely quashed by Ambot on the opposite side. An incredible performance coming through from the Keanu controller, and I'm excited for what's to come on Friday or on Saturday, sorry, as well. Considering SFU Flamenco going to be meeting them in those finals, and SFU have looked quite good as well, to say the least.
The also scary part is Ambot turning on the afterburners later means that taking a look at maps 2 and 3 later on, I think will be very, very telling, right? Keanu, again, this is pretty much going to be a matchup of game 1 that we saw, and that one went to OT. Please keep that one in mind. That was the only game that we saw go to OT and go just a crazy distance in aggressive fashion. That was a 14-12 in a relatively short amount of time. So the fact that both teams are very, very aggressive and will be playing off of each other in a just in that type of, well, we're not going to back down, like neither team wants to back down at that point, scares me and excites me to no end. And if Ambot plays like they did today on Saturday, it's SFU have to be careful. They're going to be walking into a brand new Husky squad.
That's what it feels like as well. And looking at the compositions that are coming through from those teams, it's just very standard. They're not pulling out anything crazy. There's no Yoru cheese coming through. The Reyna that came through as well was a little bit off the wall as well, in a way, from a McGill. But Keanu are playing stock standard Valorant, and they're playing it well. And I think that is something to keep in mind for the future as well. Of note on this side, we do need to mention that right now, SFU and Langar are currently on their final game as well. It is currently 10-8 for SFU Flamingo. And that sort of speaks to the point that we were mentioning that, hey, listen, SFU have been playing well. They've been winning their games, but it hasn't been, stomping, dominant fashion in the same way that it feels like Keanu have been playing.
And I think that is attributed to two different things. Number one is we did say that SFU are currently running, I believe, a sub, right? They are working with
two subs, actually.
Yeah, they're not running with their ridiculous squad, as we talked about. And I say that with all the love in the world. At the same time, I think that speaks to the quality here in the CIE Valorant tournament that everyone has stepped up, right? The rankings didn't matter. Whatever came out of there, if you're first, second, third, fourth, fifth seed, it doesn't matter. Every single team came out to play, and they are showing up. Every single player has stepped up. Every match that we watch pretty much has shown a strong facet for either side. And the fact of the matter is, a lot of these teams will be playing come fall against each other as well. This is just a teaser of what the collegiate season for 2023 and 2024 is going to look like.
Yeah, and that's what makes this all the more exciting. Canada on the come up in a lot of ways, lots of different programs to keep our eyes on. But of course, that will wrap us up for our stream for today for the Valorant round robin. The final game will get posted, but SFU Flamingo, they've locked it up. There's literally no way that they can get less than 3 wins, which is what you need to make finals. So they're into finals. They will be playing up against Keanu Huskies on Saturday. I believe we will both be back for that. I can't remember if we are or not.
I will not be. I believe we will have Lunar, one of the players.
Lunar's casting. That's right. I'll be casting with Lunar on Saturday. So for you, Orbital, do you have any final words?
No, I mean, I love it. Being able to see these teams come out here, and especially taking time out of their summer. I love that fact, and being able to support the exhibition matches and really giving a taste for those that maybe don't always watch the collegiate scene. Huge shout out to them, but also to the rest of the CIE organization. They have been ridiculously awesome, and I had an awesome time here so far, just with the group stage itself.
Yeah, it's been an incredible time to showcase Canadian esports talent, of course. Always a little bit in the shadow over Southern rivals. I'm sure that you can speak to that, Orbital, as well. But, we're on the come up. We're getting there eventually. And that's what we're hoping to do. Just give these players, give these programs a chance to shine. And that is what it is all about. That will wrap us up for today. Thanks, everyone, for joining us for this Valorant stream. It's been fun. Take it easy.